And we're working.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Mythic Initiative. I am your humble keeper for these preceding evenings. With that, we have a plethora of wonderful castmates here, and with that, we are going to start off first with C.
I always forget that I'm first, and I always forget that I'm also in charge of tech. So I'm always like, "Oh God, I'm about to reply to something snarky in the chat," and then I'm like, "Oh wait, no, I have to do production stuff." Hi, my name is C. I use they/them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at C Plays RPG. Tonight, I have the absolute pleasure of playing Eden, the Shade, who uses they/he pronouns and is not having a spiral. They are not spiraling. Look me in the eyes and acknowledge the fact that I'm saying that they're not spiraling. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to our incredible guest for today because, oh my God, we have an incredible guest for today. Lexi.
Yes, my name is Lexi, otherwise known as @BlackGirlMage. What am I allowed to say? I don't know. That's all I'm going to say is that I'm here and I'm playing someone named Riot. That is it. Do I pass it to someone? Yeah.
It's me. I'm muted first. Hey guys. I've been VoxVA on Twitter. My pronouns are he, they. And I'll be playing Heaven, the fallen pronouns she, any, and everything's fine. I'm not spiraling either. There's no reason to spiral. Hamna, is there a reason to spiral? I don't think so.
No, I really don't think so. Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and you can find me all over the internet at LilithTTRPG. Today, I will be playing Misfit the Summoned, who uses he, they pronouns, and no, there's no reason to spiral. I mean, Misfit's also not spiraling and actually has a friend that he can rely on and trust for once in this very difficult time. So I think we're all actually on the up and up. Wouldn't you agree, CJ?
No, I wouldn't. Hi, everyone. It's me, CJ, the excellent classic dragon. I'm not going to say the thing because I don't need to say the thing. What I will say is I play Vic, or Vicious, the only character who's actually not spiraling in this campaign. Outside of that, yeah, okay, all right. Yet is a good disclaimer. I will give you that. Anyway, I'm passing it back to our lovely TM, Chris.
Then it's back to this guy. With that, before we start this lovely episode here, just a quick reminder about those content warnings. With this episode in particular, you and may happen here, fantasy violence, apocalypse, gore, blood, familial struggles, body horror, drug abuse, severe weather, romance, and references to sexual entanglements, references to spiders, monsters and monstrosities, references to epidemics and diseases, and trauma. If any of this stuff is not your boat, there's a plethora of wonderful content out there for you all to enjoy. But with that in mind, Mythics, are we ready to start a new arc? Fantastic. As the camera pans down from the skies above onto an unfamiliar scene. To be honest, it is just weird. It is not normal like the place we know as Earth, the material plane, but rather it seems to be an inversion as red and purple clouds of thunder boom in the night sky. And currently we see what looks like to be some sort of vehicle driving along the horizon as it picks up dust on this desert littered with various mementos of a war of metal and rock. With that, we see that this vehicle carrying two individuals with robes slowly pull up to what looks like to be a lone structure embedded onto a lonely mountainside that is the only backdrop for the imposing stone fortress and the two large statues of rockers with tears coming down their eyes, as the ramparts are lit with blue flames. As the camera pans on these two individuals riding on what looks like to be almost like a hover motorcycle of some sorts as they pull behind a rock, Riot, please describe what we see.
You see Riot, a big fat punk rocker wearing this jean jacket that's dyed red and black in spirals. They're wearing a tank that is barely covering just a huge chest, huge body, holding on to their friend Golo, who is on the verge of passing out. They are larger than life. They are sporting bright red hair that is flying behind them. And jackets, on their jacket, you see these pins that are just screaming rebellion, a bass guitar that is wrapped around their back. Both as deep red as their hair and as sharp as a blade. You see a cigarette burning in their mouth, the ashes falling behind them, leaving a trail, along with the dust being kicked up. You see tattoos of Scourge and Rage on their body, changing and seeming to always be moving. And you hear a low note coming from Riot, and you realize after a minute of just the camera following them, trailing through this mountainside, this low note does not resonate alone. It is actually supporting. It is a harmony for the person whose weakened voice is trying to carry out. And that voice belongs to Golo. Their person, kind of sitting on the motorcycle, this amp that they're riding.
Yeah, getting a little bit more of a clearer picture of Golo. You see they have great skin with almost like this sort of shiny teal blue like eye makeup that kind of drips down, almost like war paint in between, with their hair being that same color. A little bit more scrawnier, as you know this to be more of like a steward, or more of like a squire if you were ever to compare it to mortal terms. But here they're known as a roadie. Specifically, you see that he is kind of cowering at the moment as he sees the fortress, and you can just see him kind of gulp as he kind of goes, Riot, I don't think this is a good idea. Maybe we should just turn back. I mean, your parents may find us.
You're talking too much. Okay? It's a good idea. We have to do this.
I mean, I see things all the time, maybe I just had one too many, and maybe we should just go, because that looks really imposing.
No, you have to get to the brink and push on it. I've told you this. You see things all the time, sure, but we've never seen anything as sure and definite as this.
Well, how are we going to get in? What's your big plan, huh?
I think I'm just going to do what I do best. And as we kind of get closer to this, take my hands off of the actual like steering part of this, bring my base around, and start using a pick to just pick this low driving note, clearing a path through the mountainside, through the dust in front of us. And I'm just gonna try. I don't know what I'm calling out to, but I know I've got to do something.
It's almost a low note, just dun 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 dun. As we kind of look onto the interior where you're playing towards, you see there, you don't see it, but you see there's just a couple guys going, yeah, so next Tuesday I got this gig. And he's like, oh, really? Got a gig? What's that sound? And immediately, poof, as you see them go, as they get blasted out the way, as you single-handedly, almost like a siege tank, into this wall, as you see Gola go, oh my god, we're gonna die. As you see, he kind of runs in. As he kind of goes up the corner, up the stairs, you see there are several other men in these sort of dark robes. You see there, it's very cultish in nature. They're hiding their faces as they hold their swords and weaponry in front of them as they kind of go towards you. You see up in the ramparts very far back, you know to be the leader of this cult, Nile the Butcher. As you see, his back is almost curved in the sense you see magic flow through him from a corrupting nature of the river as he kind of goes, well, look who we have here, boys. We got ourselves a riot. As he looks to you in response.
I take my pick. I'm holding it between two fingers, and I say, yeah, I guess you do have a riot on your hands. And I'm going to bring my hands down. I take the pick and I actually scrape it up the neck of the bass, creating this screeching noise in hopes that the sound actually like goes directly up to him. I want it to go straight to them and try to knock them out if I can.
I feel just for the purposes of this, to see how it goes, unleash the dark for me here. So you're gonna roll 2d6. You can add your darkness tokens before if you wish, but you're trying to get to an 8 to a 10 because that's kind of the good spot. 11's good, but it's overkill, and then a 7 below. You know, you may lose some ground here. So
Nice. Okay.
let me know
see
what
what
you
happens.
want to do.
Oh, I just rolled it. I just went ahead and did it. You know,
okay.
but I missed. So that's fun.
With that, you boom, as when you roll a 7 below, you greatly underestimate them and find yourself in a desperate position. You kind of go at, and with that, you see he is more powerful than you remember. You remember this to be a charlatan, a sham, really, a rake. But with that, you see he opens his almost old like hand that hasn't seen daylight for a while as it sucks in the magic. I see, kid, you're playing with the big leagues now. Boys, let's teach our guests the power of sorrow as they begin to swarm you. As we go over to Golo, as we can just hear, get him, I got him, I don't got him. As you hear just various noises in the courtyard, he is rushing in. He finds himself at a temple, what looks like to be some sort of figure of a woman carved into stone with that same sort of weeping in their eyes. You see he panics, gets himself into control, and begins to pull out what looks like to be old tattered music sheet and begins to and with that the eyes begin to glow and a portal begins to form. As we cut to our mythics, in this moment, as we shift over the camera to just our mythics here, it has been a couple days. You guys are in HQ. You all are had a little R&R since winning that big fight in Nemo. And at the moment, you guys are kind of in the rec room as you see the Director Sook, kind of go, well, congratulations, everyone. We wanted to applaud you on your recent efforts. I know it's been a little bit difficult, but I think this win is fantastic for all of you, as there's a general sense of happiness for you all from him. We do have, we're working on your core. We have 2 out of the 4 necessary components, so we're halfway there. So we should get you back to your old selves in no time if you just keep on going.
No, go.
Back to our old selves. Right. Good. Exactly what we all want.
I would assume so, but I mean, I'm sorry. I'd rather not speak for all of you. Well, I do have business to attend to, so please enjoy yourselves. We'll give you information if we find the next component out there, and if we find any news on the a-holes or mom. So just rest. You earned it. As you see, he begins to walk out. With that, you all are here. What's kind of the mood we're getting from this? I want to see kind of what's going through everyone's mind, and I think starting off with Eden first.
So Eden is already a black hole of enjoyment, generally speaking, like on a good day. But right now they're like literally like an energy suck. Like there is some kind of like tension where getting close to them feels like you're walking into a thunderstorm. Like they have like like in anime, you know, they have like the dark swirls behind them. Like it's really bad. It's really bad, and everyone can tell it's really bad, and they are not even at this point really trying to hide how bad it is. This is like Eden season 1, episode 1, bad attitude, bad. Nasty. On the inside, just as bad, if not worse. Yeah. So literal rain cloud in the corner. I think Eden is kind of like propped up on the side, kind of like pressed against one of the big windows in here, and has like, I think they're wearing the jacket that they got from the funeral, that Hellrider jacket. I think they're wearing it at this point, to cover up kind of all of their scrawling tattoos all over them. That's Eden.
Eden's mind. I want to go over to Misfit. What's going through your mind?
If Eden is a lightning storm in this moment, I think Misfit is a nuclear bomb waiting to go off. He is sitting in a chair next to Heaven, and he has had his hands, his elbows resting on their legs this whole time, and one of their leg has been bouncing like over and over and over again, quickly, and has not relented this entire time. He hasn't said very much as Director Sook was talking and giving us sort of the rundown of everything. But every now and then, you can hear sort of like the rattling of chains as like all of the different sort of accessories on their clothes move with this really erratic tempo, with Misfit rocking and bouncing his leg. And I think at this point, sitting next to Heaven, Misfit kind of like is also very close to them, is kind of resting, I think, one arm, kind of moves one hand over at this point when the director leaves over to Heaven's knee, and just kind of like looks over, turns his head to look at her, and just kind of quirks an eyebrow, asking, without saying so verbally, what do we do next?
And to slide over, if Eden is a storm and Misfit is a nuclear bomb, Heaven is the test site. They are calm, they're tranquil in an eerie sort. When Misfit does put their hand on his knee, they just kind of give it a reassuring pat. They aren't giving it any like necessary energy, but an absence of energy, more or less internal in thinking than reactive.
Fantastic. And then last but not least, what looks like to be the most okay person in here, Vic. What are you thinking in your mind?
Yeah, so I think Vic is putting away, like, at the end of Ryan's like speech, Vic is like putting away whatever messaging device that they have, like putting it in their pocket. Vic is sitting next to Eden. And if Eden is the lightning and storm, and Misfit is the nuclear reactor, and Heaven is the test site. Vic is the sunshine outside of all of that because it's a bright and sunny day. Especially as Casey comes in with like 3 apple ciders, and Vic is like, "Great!" And Vic takes 2 and then puts one on like Eden's knee, knowing that Eden is just being the worst right now. And Vic like just puts it there, waiting for Eden to either say something snarky or to drink it. And just kind of sits there like being in the sunshine next to this whatever the hell these 3 things are, and looks at it and probably puts a hand on Casey's hand and is just like waiting for either someone to say something useful or someone to say something worse.
Eden takes the apple cider, they look at it and they go, "What the fuck is this?" And then they drink
There
it.
is.
So they do both. They say something snarky and then they drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you see kids get it's apple cider. Was requested, but I guess not.
Don't
I
debate it.
thought we were getting coffee. It's
Well,
coffee. No, go ahead.
No. Vic felt like a celebratory mood, so they love the cider. So I just got it. I thought they were
you
gonna drink
love
all
apple
3,
cider?
It's pretty good. Used to do it in the fall when I was happy, so I'm trying to recreate that.
You've been happy before?
Yeah, like once every couple of months.
Mm.
You should
What's
try
that
it.
like?
Yeah, it's peaceful.
Mm.
As this is kind of going down, as tensions are starting to rise, Misfit, in your head, you can feel almost like you have control of your body, but Ossiet sometimes can move parts sometimes. So with that, specifically your head, you feel almost like if somebody yanked your hair in a direction as you just, I don't know if anybody sees it, but you kind of almost like spaz out a little bit as you just, as your head is just like Ossie wanting to talk to you, as they're sort of pulling you in a direction.
Feeling this, Misfit, who, by the way, has had this sniper rifle strung along their body this whole time, still holding onto it, still wearing it, has not taken it off from what you know since killing Clayton. You're not actually quite even sure if he sleeps with it. And I think they feel this pull in the back of their mind. And Heaven, you actually feel it. There's a sudden clenching and like grasp of your knee from Misfit's hand as they're kind of like stunned by this, and they kind of like go, are we done here? Can I go?
Are you okay? That was
Yeah.
a chill or something?
No, I think Aussie wants to talk. It's not very subtle.
You're telling me. I'm not holding you or anything. You can go.
And I think Misfit nods, stands up, and before leaving, just kind of one of their hands kind of like trails along your shoulders, your back, and then to the other shoulder before they leave. Very sort of like gentle, affectionate kind of acknowledgement before he exits the room and goes to wherever their room is in the HQ.
As you kind of pull off to the side, does anybody want to say anything before I move on to that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No. I
Yeah.
think I'm unsure of what Eden's about to do. I think Vic gets up, probably to take what could be only considered precautionary measures. And is Heaven sitting down? Yeah. So I think Vic just gets us very silently, gets up. Puts their drink down, walks up to the front of you, which is probably not something that she's done in a very long time. Bends down on like both knees, gets eye level with you, and says, "All right, Misfit Watch Captain, why the fuck is he carrying around that gun?"
Look, we had an incident outside the building, and consider it a memento.
Okay. I'm wise enough to know, because I'm usually the person that's doing it. Incident means about 3 things, none of them good. Well, none of them conducive to a peaceful life. Actually, No, that's it. No, I'm good. Yeah.
Good, good, because
yeah,
I
no.
wasn't going to thank you.
No, wasn't good. Okay.
But good.
How
Yeah,
are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine.
Fine.
I hear fine usually means not fine.
Okay. Well,
You know when to talk? It's been a while.
maybe you
You
should
know,
get a
I
better
actually have a
dictionary.
question too.
Oh, great.
I tried
And
to give you an out, and then Vic just gets up and moves. Like,
and Eden's doing that thing they do where everything about them is really still. Like everything about, and they're looking at you with in that way that they look, Heaven, when they are like wanting to pick a fucking fight, like a really bad fight. And like the tiniest little head tilt. You know, I don't remember that the Prince of Lies had to get permission from you to leave the room. That's so interesting.
It wasn't permission and more like encouragement. Maybe if you knew how to talk to people, you would get that.
Oh, because you and Misfit talk so much.
It's a new development. Maybe if you noticed things, it wouldn't be so shocking.
I notice plenty of things. Heaven?
Really? Really?
Yeah. What the fuck was all that about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Because, yes, I do, in fact, notice things, Heaven, like all of that. Like he's in your shadow now. Like he can't stand to be away from you for more than 5 fucking minutes or else he'll explode. What the fuck is up with that? Just wondering. Just curious. Just because I noticed.
Oh, because you noticed. Like I said, new development. If you're worried about it, maybe you should talk to Misfit and not me.
And as Eden, they click their teeth? I think at this point, because they're facing you, they're looking right at you as they do it. It's just a habit. They kind of forgot because they're so intent on fighting you right now. That when their when their tongue swipes across their teeth, it's black. Their tongue is completely black and it's forked like a snake.
yeah. I think Vic, who somehow, some way, has like regained some weird semblance of like old powers, naturally like started walking, but like upwards, like as if gravity wasn't a thing, and was about to like walk away from this situation, but is watching you two, and then stops and goes, "Oh, that's weird. What's up with that, Eden?"
Do I ask you every single time you get a new mouth on your body, Vic? And that is crueler than Eden has been talking to you recently, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It kind of like clocks it. At first, it's like, you know what? No, you don't. And then it's like, wait, that was mean. And then like starts thinking about it. And then it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it today. And then looks over at Casey and it's like, do you want to bounce? But like, is still not like right side up.
I think Casey's like, yeah, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. There's a lot of
Vic's like holding her hand, but like
yeah,
upside.
it's just like let's get out of here. This isn't the scene for us. As you two go away, Heaven, do you still stay in the room or do you?
Yeah, their eyes are just locked on Eden.
Yeah, it's the nastiest stare down, I think, at this point. Like, fall into silence, I think.
And I think with that, we move over back to Misfoot. As you find your room, it's just a space that you've kind of made your own. And as you open the door, you see a holographic image immediately, like life size, of Asi, what looks like to be. They made a scene of almost like a school principal of they have their desk holographic. You see Aussies on the nameplate as they have their hands folded and just waiting for you to come in and go, "Oh, hello, Miss Foot. Please take a seat. I can't grab a chair, so you'll have to grab a chair."
And Misfit, I think, like closes the door slowly behind them, looking at this display with an eyebrow raised. I didn't realize I was in trouble.
You're not in trouble. I'm disappointed in you. As you say, look at a book and then close it back up before they continue talking with you?
Misfit, I think, instead of pulling up a chair, just like sits on the bed, which I assume is like right next to the desk or this holographic projection of the desk. So instead of being like in front, Misfit's like right on the side of the desk. And I think continues to sort of like bounce a leg. They take off the sniper rifle off of their back and kind of put it along their lap, and they pull out a rag or a cloth of some kind and then start cleaning it obsessively, over and over again, over spots that Aussie can't see any blood or dirt or debris left on it, but still Misfit is cleaning it. And he just kind of like looks up. So what are you disappointed about?
That right there, as you see, they sort of dispersed everything of the illusion and just go into their normal self as they just point at the gun. You got that in a very bad way. To put it lightly, that is not what you're supposed to do, in a sense, I think.
What am I not supposed to do?
You can't just murder people innocent. You know, I mean, he wasn't innocent, but he wasn't. It was
Aussie,
wrong.
shh. Aussie, shh. And I think Misfit just kind of like quickly gets up, like gun in hand, like opens the door slightly, like peeks out to see if any of the Mythics are around. And then hopefully seeing nobody, it kind of like closes it very quietly back and then turns around. The others don't know. Okay, Heaven is the only one that knows.
Well, maybe they should know, because clearly that was a very bad thing you did out of vengeance, and you almost endangered everyone's life because of your vendetta or your vengeance or whatever it is.
He killed my brother. What did you expect me to do? Just let him walk free?
I didn't expect you to double tap him. There's a freaking system.
I had to make sure that he was dead.
I just do not believe that was the right thing to do, and then to lie everyone, I think is worse, and I think the worst outcome out of all this is you kept the guy's gun. I have half a mind to throw it out, or burn it, or toss it into the ether.
And I think Misfit kind of like holds it tighter to their body as Aussie describes all of these ways of getting rid of the gun. No. No. This is all I have left of tear.
I understand your brother is a topic in which it is very difficult for you, but I do not believe that the current curriculums of grief that you are employing is the right way of going about this. I don't think there's a book that says kill the guy, take his gun, and then be infatuated with the person that covered up the murder. I don't think that's part of the 5 steps, unless I'm mistaken.
I also don't think that your brother who stole a harbinger of the apocalypse from you and then was marked by an assassin while he was in your arms, I also don't think that is a thing that happens to people normally.
Mister, he was a bad guy. I mean, when you do bad stuff happens to you. That's how the world, I believe, is supposed to work. Am I false in this?
And I think Misfit just kind of like leans back against the door, still clutching this gun to their chest, and smiles this smile that doesn't reach his eyes. It's completely devoid of mirth, and says, "You're gonna tell a devil that bad things happen to bad people? We make bad things happen to people. Was, anyway, my whole domain, my whole job, my whole point of existence."
Well, if you're gonna be a ruler, rulers don't kill people like that. I mean, you want to be better than your dad, right? Doesn't that mean you have to be a better person, forgiving and kind and honorable and all the traits associated with a good monarch? I mean, to be honest, right now, you're showing what it looks like to be a tyrant.
That's really rich of you to say, given that Don't you think Naomi was a bit of a tyrant?
Naomi was complicated. I mean, I have a deep history of what they did in their life, and believe me, towards the end, it got really rough. But before that, they were doing it for good reasons, I guess.
What about what she did to you? No, really, Aussie, have you ever thought about that?
You see, it's almost like in a sense of overclocking or in a sense of really thinking hard that they start to almost glitch and kind of not respond for a second as they're sort of trying to process this very complex emotion before they kind of just I don't know. That's a first. I don't know how I feel about that.
They made you in their own fucked up image and then left you to rot in a vial by yourself. You're just as much a victim as we are.
But I can help. My purpose is to make sure you all stay together. You need to stay together. And right now, you are all on a path of not staying together. You're infighting and you're at each other's throats in both a threatening and weird way that I still don't know how to process. But you don't seem to be a family or a unit or really anything remotely close to friendship.
Heaven's my friend. Weird as that is to say, for once. And Vic and I are friendly still. I mean, Vic's been a bit distant lately, but that's whatever. And I think as Misfit is talking, the journal that Misfit had stolen from Eden kind of weighs heavy in their jacket pocket. Like, they're always wearing their leather jacket, and I think inside of it is where they keep the journal and have kept the journal since he stole it from Eden. I'm not allowed to be Eden's family anymore, I don't think.
Why not? You don't get to choose the family you're with. I mean, and plus, you need to be there, even if they may not see it now. In the darkest of times, family get together and they get the job done.
And I will be, but the way that I have to be there for Eden, the way that I have to love them is letting them go.
I guess. I would suggest, and just a suggestion from one sibling to another, or cousin in this case, I think you should be careful of Heaven. They don't seem to be a great influence on you, in my personal opinion.
What do you mean? Heaven's the only one who's been honest with me this whole time.
Yeah, but that seems to be not coming from a great place. There's this thing, and I will provide you a book on it, on toxic relationships. Very specifically, one that is around gaslighting is one, lying. I would suggest you just take a quick read through it. I just feel like maybe you may relate to something in there, and maybe you might see the light of day, but just in a sense, I just don't think Heaven is being truthful for the right reasons.
I mean, I'll read your book, Aussie, if you really want me to, but I think you're wrong. When has Heaven ever lied to anyone? When has he ever done anything wrong? I mean, that's why she's so annoying.
Okay, just take a read through it. That's all I'm saying. Just take a read.
I'll read it. Just, Aussie, give me time, okay? I'll tell the others what happened. I just need time.
Okay, but if you take too long, I'm taking matters into my own hands.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
And you see that immediately she takes your arm as you go, "Huh?" As you see they almost control you in a sense, and put you down. I do not like to use that, but I can.
Okay, since when have you been able to do that?
Since you put extensive parameters and keeping everything locked down, which means I can override since I got permission.
Yeah, maybe we need to revisit that a little bit later, but look, Asi, you clearly know things that we don't about a lot of different things, but especially about Naomi and what fucked up problems she has put us in this time. So why don't you join us more than you have already, rather than being in the back seat of my brain, my suit? I don't really know where you are, and quite frankly, I don't want to ask.
I'd be quiet because you told me to shut up, but does this mean that I have parameters now to not shut up?
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. As you see, they sort of confetti. Fantastic. Also, as we're conversating, I'm getting a strange reading coming from Heaven's room.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's like a portal-ish energy. I don't know.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's nothing.
Okay, if you say so. And as they kind of turn off, leaving you with those thoughts, there's one more scene we do before something happens to all of you. As Eden, it is the beginning of a new mystery. I need you to please roll your
I hate when you do this to me.
there. Nah, don't worry.
No. What if I did?
Roll first for me, please, to see what kind of situation we're getting ourselves.
Oh my god! I rolled snake eyes.
Have you succeeded on this yet?
One time. Just once, though. That was really bad. Really bad start to my arc. Ow. That hurt. Deeply. When I, on a 7 or lower, and this is in fact lower, I receive a dire warning or difficult orders from my mentor. The keeper will tell me what happens next.
Fantastic. As you are kind of walking off to the side, a little flustered, maybe a little angry, you see that as you turn the corner, you find yourself back in the diner. As you see the deity that is there, you see that they are, whatchamacallit, it is, you kind of had to, take a moment, and you can see that it is Danny. If you were trying to remember the name of it, as you can see, they are in the back. They are cooking at the moment. As there seems to be only one person here. You see Clayton is there waiting to go to the other side. But beyond that, it's just you, the ghost of Clayton, and the death deity. What do you do in this instance?
Well, Eden was on the warpath of storming out of the room after having a stare down with their twin. And as they stumble into now the diner, they see Clayton, and that, like, the cognitive wheels are now turning, right? They see Clayton, they note it, they go, oh, interesting. And, like, then pivot to death, like, as though their eyes are literally drawn to where this deity stands. They look around. They look kind of down at themselves, like checking. Did you bring me here?
You see their voice kind of changes from when you last heard it into a little bit more of a normal tone. I did. I thought we should further your lessons.
Further my lessons. I'm sorry. I was bargaining for the life of somebody near to me, near to someone that I have cared about. I don't think we need to have any further discussions unless I need to bargain with you again.
You see they still have their back turned to you. A lesson you shall receive, nevertheless, as it is important. You are at a crossroads, and soon you will need to pick a side, a path to go down to that you can't go back from.
Is that so?
Indeed.
And I assume you're here to sway me down one particular path. One that suits your interests.
No. I'm here to provide you with all the information, and then let you decide, as it does not matter to me what path you choose. I have my own domain. This is out of kindness to your father.
Excuse me?
Kindness to your father.
My father no longer exists. I ate him out of reality.
Yes and no. You wiped most of him from reality. Not all of him. Your mother, yes. Maybe she might a little bit, but your father, for sure, is still around. But that is not what we're discussing here. As you see, they pull a plate of food in front of you. Looks like your standard American cheeseburger. You see this perfect, prime in every way, with fries on the side. They turn to you.
Are you threatening me?
I'm not threatening you. It is food, but there is a lesson behind it. So, mouth closed, ears open. Now,
Eden doesn't like being told what to do, but there's something about this that is undeniably pulling on their naturally curious nature. They want to know. All information is power, is leverage. And they sit back and wait for some kind of opening to find whatever weakness is here, or to find the lesson, whatever it is. They let her speak.
Now, I put this before you. It is food, and I'm wondering, when you see this, what do you see?
I see the basic tools needed to stay alive. A routine habit that is necessary for survival.
This is the mortal mindset. This is the mindset of necessity, which is not wrong, but will not get you very far in life. Now, really focus on it. Almost smell it, envision the taste, and then tell me what you see.
Eden sighs, looks down at this cheeseburger and fries, and then, just because, they have nothing else. What are they going to do? Go back and walk angrily to their room and slam the door and be alone for another few hours? This is the first time they've had a conversation that didn't make them feel like they wanted to pull their hair out. And so I think they do. They look down. They see what's there. They see the bun, the bread, the work. They see the grain, the seed, the ground that it came from. They see the meat, the life of the animal, the lettuce, all of these things coming up from the ground and dying too. I see. They shrug. I see death.
Correct, but as you see, they almost put their hand over it. There's also life. As you see what looks like to be almost a mist of yellow-like energy floating from it, forming these echoes of people sharing meals. You see, food, the reason why I serve it is not only for the traditional last meal, but it is also memories. Happy ones of anniversaries or date nights, or painful ones of breakups, heart loss, and death.
And at that, I think Eden turns and looks out the door of the diner to the street lamp just in the parking lot, right under the overhang. where Misfit had cracked open their heart and given half to them. Given him half of their own heart to carry in their chest, right there. That was the ground. It was right there. It was raining. They remember it was raining. And that memory, I think, plays very clearly, and almost like the golden light in the meal shimmers, shows it like a ghost for half a moment before it gets blown away. Why are you showing this to me?
Because you must know that death isn't a finite thing. It isn't something evil or something that is definitive. Death is so many things, and it means so many things to other people. Remember this, because there are people that you think died and are not. And they have memories of their own that they need to heal from.
Are you talking about my father?
I am talking about your heart. The last thing your father would want you to see is you fighting your heart.
And if I don't have so much of a choice?
Well, before they continue, you hear something begin to bash at the door. Oh no. You see it shatters completely behind you as you see the glass begin to as you see what looks like to be the shadowy figure of someone with almost these glowing eyes as you hear, "Now that's mine. Danny, I don't appreciate you taking my acolytes. Manny, they are just simply here for the food. Now, Eden, you've been dodging my calls. Why don't you answer?"
And then it clicks. Like 2 seconds too late, I think it clicks. Because Eden has never seen the man in the mirror in any other form than one that was reflected back at them. And if they had a heart, it would fall through their body. It would fall to the floor. But there's this almost empty, hollow ringing. And immediately Eden is like, I need to get out of here. Like, the instinct to run hits them so fast and so hard that they are going to try to rip themselves back to reality as fast as they can.
And as you're kind of doing this, that is the moment in which something happens to all of you. Whether you're sitting, walking, or investigating, you all begin to hear a sound echo in your heads. It is not that of a creature, but of a divine scream. A scream of metal. As you all begin to hear this, and almost in your visions, in front of your faces, you see a figure start to slowly begin to form up. As you see what looks like to be a figure made of stone, with these sort of rock-like features, heavy metal to them, as they point at you with their glowing fiery eyes, as they say, "You have been chosen," as they begin to grasp you in their enormous hand and drag you into the fire. As that is happening, as you all are beginning to... We go back to you, Riot, as everyone is kind of coming into scene here. You are at the portal with Golo at the moment. You see that whatever is coming through is slowly to come through, but on your sort of personage, you see what looks like to be the sort of mirror that you have on the side of you, as you see the individual that you have been speaking with kind of pop up, asking for attention as he goes, "Are you busy?"
You're muted.
Love that. I have a swarm of hands of the thralls of this this enemy, as they're like starting to almost rip me apart, and I reach down. I'm like, little bit. I can talk if you have time.
coming through the portal, ensure they get to where they need to go. And don't forget our little deal. I help you, you help me. So it is now the time where you help me.
And I immediately say, yeah, whatever. And will, if I can, that little mirror, I imagine it's like dangling a little bit and it's making a little bit of a tone. Like make kind of like tuning fork, and I'm gonna hone in on that and trying to just break free of this crowd. I'd like to try to hum one more time and do whatever I can to just break free.
I think in this instance, for expediency's sake, you're kind of, it's almost in a sense of like dog pile. You should just see them before you just, you see the ones that are the closest in the circle get completely eviscerated, while the ones on the outside may lose an arm, a leg, sometimes their head. But for the most part, you see the cultists kind of break apart and go, they're too strong, as they start to sort of back away. We need to regroup. As you have a moment of reprieve among yourself, as Golo kind of goes, great job, I think I did it.
Are they coming through?
Yeah, I think so. Either that or something really pissed is coming through. It could be both.
Okay, good job. I'm going to try to jump up to that statue. I'm going to try to jump to where they are.
Yeah. Jump onto the statue, and as you do, you see this portal of raving fire of these sort of chrome-like metal fingers pulling them slowly out. As all of the mythics, you get pulled from this huge figure and thrown at this other side as you see the portal begin to and burp out before it closes down.
And standing before you, if anyone looks up, I've jumped across this like gap, this stone ground where this carved, I think you said it's like a carved woman in the mountain, weeping tears. I've jumped the gap and have landed on my knees with my guitar out, just completely hard, like very punk rock. There's smoke from where definitely my jeans should shred, but I'm stronger than the stone beneath me and leave like these huge, almost like tire skid marks on the ground. And there's just wimpy little Golo between me, me and y'all.
Golo kind of looking on the side, he goes, ew, they look gross. There's no color on them. There's just dull. Ugh. As you see, it's almost like, oh god, ew. Oh.
I was like, you need to be worrying about if you actually brought the right people.
I mean, these seem to be the people. I mean, they look weird, but, you know, hey, as you see that, as you're all trying to get your surroundings, you see these two figures on the side, this little small man in sort of gray skin and blue makeup, kind of go, are you guys warriors?
Eden is sand. Like trying to get out of the grip of whatever had just yanked them through the portal. I think they're like phasing in and out of existence, right? Trying to like pull themselves out of this huge, massive hand. Definitely shouting expletives, like loudly.
Well, that one seems to be pretty on par with what we're looking for. So, you know, there's a little color to them, and, you know, they're kind of got a bad potty mouth, which I guess a warrior has. What about the other three of you? I think we got the wrong ones.
I think. Meanwhile, Misfit, who had been holding on to this like gun and talking to Aussie when this all happened, I think has been using the like butt end of the rifle to try and like free themselves from whichever the creature entity was like grabbing them. And I think the sort of like almost like static feeling of that sort of nuclear energy kind of roiling in their chest has started to permeate out from them. So you can all, I think, Riot, you included, can like feel this kind of energy with like a lightning storm about to go off, basically, as he's kind of standing there like afraid and unsure of what's happening.
Unfortunately, Heaven has a condition called chosen stress disorder. So
Explain.
being called out
What?
like
What do you
that
mean?
just has them breaking out in hives.
Oh,
And by hives, their face is just cracking even more to the point that like there's more gold than flesh tones in their
You
face.
see, yeah, Gold's kind of go like, oh, wait a minute. They got color inside of them. Yeah, okay.
What I'm
Oh.
hearing is Heaven's a gifted kid.
gifted kid burnout.
AP
Yeah,
kid.
we've
Yeah.
known that.
No.
Pain.
And I think the thing that might actually maybe be the reason that Misfit isn't blowing up is because Vic is. Because Golo was right. There was something angry coming through the portal, and it is probably the hand that grabbed us definitely needed to like full on grasp Vic like an action figure to stop her from like exploding, and like drops her almost like probably holding something hot. Yeah, very much that. And Vic is like floating again, like not feet aren't touching the ground, and she is upset. So much so that I think you said that we're grayscale or like metal.
No, it's more in a sense of like he's just saying like there's no color, no vibrancy to you. It's not necessarily that you don't have any color. It's just like they're more colorful than you are, so they're basing what
Yes,
people
I
should look like off of them.
That's
rather
really
than-
funny. Well, Vicky is a beautiful red, fiery color, very similar with when the sun, that sunlight motif that she was. She is now scorching hot magma because she is. It is like a couple degrees, tens of degrees hotter in the area in which Vic is standing, and she's like, "What is going on?"
All right, take it back. I think we got the guys.
Yeah,
I
Golo, I
it-
see some sparks.
Yes.
This is my,
Hey, who the fuck are you?
I don't
And he
know
did,
who
like,
the fuck are
points.
you.
What do you mean, who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you? I am so fucking sick and tired of getting kidnapped by extraplanar beings. Okay? I've had it fucking up to
They've
here. I'm
been
having a
kidnapped
bad.
before. It means that they know how to do this. It's
Is this
nothing
from your
new.
vision? This happened in your vision, right?
He did
I
not.
guess there was an angry one, but it seems like there's a lot of angry ones. So I don't
Point
know
to-
really.
Okay, I'm gonna start pointing at people, and you tell me which one, if I'm getting colder or warmer, at who's the angriest. Okay, starting here, and I
Okay.
point to Eden first, and I just start like turning.
Oh, it's a pretty one. It's between that one and the magma creature, but I think
Okay.
it's
Getting
I think
hotter then.
I'm gonna go with the sand one, the sandy one, the one that you first pointed
Oh,
to.
back.
That,
Okay,
that's
back to
pretty
the.
angry.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There's trauma there.
Ooh,
Using
okay,
kind of points.
Listen, we didn't mean to steal you, piss you off, whatever. I'm not gonna say sorry, because things are dying everywhere. I'm sure. I don't know. But it's starting here, and we need help. And there was Oracle, meet Golo, the Oracle, my friend, amazing lead singer. We need you to help us offset the end of everything, I guess, is the best way to put it. So if we're not the first to get to you, sorry. I guess I did apologize.
Yeah, you did. Look, I know you probably have a lot of questions. We can answer all those on the way out of here because it looks like Niall is regrouped and he's pissed. As you see, he kind of looks over the edge. You see there's more cultists now. They're starting to sew back pieces of people back together as they start to get healed from their magic. As you kind of go, they are in the Temple of Lamel. Stop them!
Okay. I'm not gonna eat one of you if you just let's start moving. Where are we
Eat
going?
them. Maybe.
I mean, I highly suggest you just blow the wall so we can just get to the amp and then we can get out of here.
Okay. By the way, I'm Riot. Will take a bow, stands up, and starts summoning the amp. Like, just whatever I can do.
With that, you begin to summon it, and as you kind of bow and almost get back up, you see crashing through through the wall itself, what looks like to be almost like this hover-ish bike of a sense, that's sort of that very long nose and sort of amps on the side. Specifically, it's almost like a vehicle made out of speakers, as the sound reverberating off of it is providing its hoverance. And you can see what looks like to be a number of seats on it that kind of at first was only for like one person and another person, but just slowly transform itself to support you all. And kind of goes, all right, you know how to drive this thing? I suggest you get on it. All of you just take a seat. It's a bumpy ride, but you'll enjoy it, I think. But I highly would suggest we get away before they all get here.
And I think Misfit just kind of like swings the rifle back on like their back. And when we all sit on this motorcycle, unsure how we all fit on it, but the stranger things have happened. And he is going to make sure that he is sitting right behind Heaven so that they can wrap their arms around his waist.
Eden stalks, I think is maybe the first one who gets to the bike, like stalks up to you, Riot, and goes, need help saving an apocalypse? I guess that's what we fucking do now. Eden, pleasure to meet you. And they are going to get on the bike right behind you.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think Vic is slow to get on the bike because Golo was like, oh, you can eat them. And I think Vic's hunger was peaking, so she is like looking over there and then looking back at the bike and then looking over there and then salivating a little and then like, all right. And then like gets on the bike.
Fantastic. As you all get on, you, Riot, begin to sort of go out as you have to kind of really, punch it as you kind of arc over what was the moat as you go down. And you all begin to see what looks like to be a very strange inversion of what you know. As said before, you all are seeing this for the first time. The clouds are red and purple with thunderous lightning, providing that sort of shadow over this large landscape of what was a battlefield of various equipment that you would see usually with a band. But also you see the impairment of swords and guns and whatnot, and large skeletal figures that are almost honoring these battlefields as you pick up dust along the way. And as you all are kind of driving away, you see the cultists. The camera kind of pans to them as you all leave. As you see, they kind of go, well, they're gone. What did they bring in? Niall approaches as you see he touches the dust and tastes it. Ah, the Queen of Sorrows has returned. Prepare the stage. We must go to our queen. As you see, they all go, okay, and proceed to all disperse and get ready. And as we cut to that, I think this might be a good place to take a quick little break. I think this is a good place to take a break. So we will be back. We're going to go a little break, so get your agua, use el baño, and we will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second half. With that, we return back to our individuals as we are pulling up to a place. But before we do that, I believe our riot has one thing they need to do from their playbook. So please take it away, if you will.
As Eden gets on the bike, I think that introducing yourself and also that moment that Golo says, "This one's angriest," something flares. I think maybe it's the glance of the mirror. But I would like to use my hands around your heart. Yours is a power that was never meant for you alone to bear. So I'm going to choose you to be my heart, and to share the burden of my power with. I don't know if you need to know everything, but we'll see. We'll see. This is both good and bad.
This
for
is so
who,
deliciously
we'll find
wretched.
out. I know, it's gonna be so great. But yeah, we can just ride off into the town as quickly as possible.
What does it feel like when you do that? Like, can Eden feel that in any kind of way?
I think you definitely feel a side eye as other people kind of get into the car. I think it's more so knowing that you're being watched, but from directly behind you. And I think you get this overwhelming sense of like relief, but it's not yours. And I feel like you might want to push back on it if it's it's not normal. It's not yours. You don't like being told what to do from what I've gathered. So I think you start pushing back on it. But whether it belongs to Golo or belongs to Riot, you get this overwhelming sense like someone is relieved that you are here. And Golo is a little bit more goofy. Riot's a little bit more like serious. And I don't think you would know it's emanating from Riot.
Mm. Whatever the feeling is, I think when it goes out and is received by Eden, it kind of feels like whatever that feeling is falling into a well and going down forever. Like it's like there's no heart to catch it because Eden literally does not have a heart. Like it just falls through the center of them and gets buried somewhere way down there in sand and is just like immediately consumed by that. Throwing your hope down a literal well.
I love it.
And as we're writing in Chris, as this happens and Eden like has this sense of being watched, I think their eyes almost like flicker into the rear view mirror too, like on habit to see into the mirror because they just ran from the minute in the diner. They're like still halfway in the diner, still halfway here, getting accustomed. They look into the mirror, look back. And this place, Eden has read a lot of books. They've read a lot about like different infernal, divine, like treaties, histories, arcane texts, archaic random bullshit from the fucking Vatican. Can I piece together where we are?
I think you can. And from just basic knowledge, you know this to be primarily the home of the Nephilim, the half angel, half demons. Specifically from just the basic knowledge that you know that this place wasn't always as it is now. To be specific, you remember just the long time ago, just a basic origins of what this place was pretty much, this place was always a disorder. It was always almost a constant fluctuation of chaos as the war between angels and demons spread pretty much everywhere. And it spread to a place such like this. But while they were fighting a deity of some sort that had what they described as a almost divine-like scream made them sort of put down their weapons and pretty much go AWOL from the war. And since they were the only people there, one thing led to another, and with that started to form communities in which both angelic and demonic heritages kind of mixed with one another rather than fight each other. But you don't get much context beyond creation. You don't know what exactly is going on here. Because this place is maybe a little bit, chaotic and desolate and whatnot, but it does look like this place has seen better times. Specifically, as you're kind of pulling up around the corner, all of you begin to see, as you pull into a town that has almost like a shanty-like sign on it that's been sort of shot at, still kind of hanging off of it with what looks like to be bullet wounds in it, a blue oyster. Specifically, as you drive on in, it's almost resemblance of like an old shanty town or kind of an old western kind of going in the multiple wooden buildings and whatnot. But you can see specifically there's a mix of these old buildings reminiscent of the past, but also there seems to be almost nomadic qualities in terms of places like tents that are set up. As you see, there are multiple people wearing similar adornments to Ryan and Golo, a little bit more of a mix between Western and rock. Between them, as they're all kind of pitching in, it seems to be a small community, but they're ready to go at a moment's notice. And as you're kind of driving through, pulling up to the saloon or the tavern of this place, you can see that there's a lot of eyes on you. Specifically, you see one person kind of talk to one another, and you already know immediately, Riot, that they're going to get the individual here that's kind of in charge, the sort of manager of this specific group of people, as they're already running off to go get them.
Okay, is that a good or a bad thing for us?
Not great.
Okay.
Great.
We should keep moving.
Why?
Because people in this town are so resourceful, but they are also all snitches.
Who's gonna snitch?
If you didn't see them running away, then
Word. No, I'm kidding. I'll be normal.
you don't have to be.
I mean, they can be a little normal. I think a little normal's nice. It helps really ease people in, you know. Oh,
Vic,
there's so much.
Chris, how far away are they?
The person running?
Yeah.
Probably maybe 50 feet away.
Could I catch them potentially?
You can, but you might freak everyone out.
I'll be normal.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's find somewhere more discreet. If you have questions, I can answer, but I also, you know, I'm on one side of the knowledge, and I just bring the action. So there's only
Who are
so
you?
much. Riot. I said
Oh,
that.
no.
I mean, who are you?
Riot, Nephilim, child of yearning and ferocity, the lead and bass player or lead and guitarist of the Nephilim of this realm.
Oh, you're a lot cooler Nephilim than the one I know.
Who do you know?
My sister.
Who?
Really?
And Eden kind of does a pointed turn back at heaven.
Yeah, same thing, Vic.
It would explain the
Misfits
cracks.
arms, I think, like tighten in a supportive manner around Heaven's waist as the fire starts to go towards you.
And they ignore all of it. They're just like looking at this shit show of a town.
You ignore it, and Vic looks back at Ryan and says, "See what I mean? A lot more fun."
And I will say, Heaven, for you, this is the first time you've really seen other Nephilim. You were made not kind of by accident. These people are Nephilim. They've been Nephilim, and they're, all the way to the dawn of time, they've been Nephilim. So it's kind of a first, because you kind of thought there are no Nephilim on the mortal plane. So this is the first time you're seeing people that kind of look like you, with angelic and demonic features that vary and mix and match of colors of all the rainbow here. So it's comforting in a sense, but still you're not in your element and you really don't know what they think of outsiders. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I love this so much. This is all internal. This that chattering.
So is everyone, and Vic is looking at Riot. So is everyone a Nephilim here?
Yeah, pretty much. This is where we this is where we live, this is where we rock, this is where we sleep. And we wake up, we rock, we live, we sleep, wake up, rock, live, sleep, in that order.
And try not to die to Weepers.
What are you fighting about?
Don't fear the Reaper.
The Weepers. Things are turning to, I don't know. Things are starting to turn. Yeah, it's getting bad. It's getting really bad. My friend here is an oracle. I don't know if I made that clear. This is all kind of coming together because of a vision he had about a group being able to help me push past the boundaries of what is known here. Things are turning to ash and dust before our very eyes, and no one seems to want to do anything about it. And it's really pissing me off. So I recruited Golo, my friend.
Recruited is a strong word, more like forced.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use recruited because it's we have fun. We have fun, Golo, don't we? Remember that inside joke we had?
I know. It was a very funny inside joke, but still, I almost got stabbed while trying to do the whole thing, so it wasn't fun. It wasn't an inside joke. It was very real.
Okay, well, still, Golo had the vision, and I have everything else. And so I'm just doing what I can to carry Golo over the finish line so we can stop whatever is besetting this place, I guess.
Yeah, I think as that's kind of going on, unless Eden, one last thing you want to say before it happens, you see Jaso is coming. The individual that you all see coming towards you seems to be an individual that has what sort of like a leather sort of vest jacket that doesn't have a shirt underneath. You see their skin is almost like a deep blue kind of almost slightly undead-ish nature to it as the eyeshadow from their makeup is on. Their hair is sort of that sort of dark blue mullet a little bit that kind of almost flows in the air. As you see, they kind of pull up, as you can hear sort of the spurs from their cowboy boots kind of coming up. As you see, they got their hand on the chest as they just say, "Okay, Riot, do you care to explain to me what are mortals doing in the lands of metal?"
I do not care to explain to you, actually. But
oh no, you just, sleep here, eat here, rock with us, and what, we are all nothing? Not even an explanation for your actions?
can we do this a little bit somewhere more private, not in front of everyone?
Fine. Into the saloon, all of you. He kind of goes, "It's okay, everyone. They will be on their way soon, and we do not have to worry about the horsemen."
I turn around to all of you, and I'm like, "Don't worry about it. You're not leaving."
I'm sorry, horsemen?
Hey, what the fuck's a
Yeah,
horseman?
don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The apocalypse?
Sound.
Yeah.
Apocalypse. Is it the apocalypse? A
You've heard of
horseman,
yeah.
reaper, apocalypse. This all sounds pretty bad.
Oh, it's Weepers, not Reapers. Don't worry about Reapers not here.
Yeah, Gola is. We don't have the Reapers died a long time ago. It's Weepers.
It's Weepers. They're
I mean, I
worse.
used to be a harbinger
They're
of the
worse.
apocalypse. Maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely that bad.
It's definitely bad.
Just like was whispering out loud, and that's what like caused this riot. And Gola just like break out in laughter behind Jaso.
You see everybody kind of disperse. You see the minute he says horseman, there's always that one guy that kind of freaks out and he goes, no, and just pushes you all inside to what looks like to be a saloon. Very makeshift, and surprisingly, a lot of kegs. Usually there's an assortment. It's just what kind of keg you're feeling today, really. As you see, he kind of just, "Can I offer you a drink?"
Please and thank you.
I'll take one.
Yeah. You know what I like,
Misfit
so.
waits for Heaven to answer before they do.
I'm fine. Misfit, do you want anything?
I'm okay.
See in the back here. "I would like a large beer."
Does that say out loud?
Yeah, I think they do pop up. You see, they're just kind of come up and kind of go, "A beer."
Oh,
I
shit,
would
I'll
like.
see. It's been a while.
Can you drink?
I'm about to find out.
What's going on? What's this? What's happening?
Been a while.
Hi, I'm Asi.
Misfit.
As you see, what looks like to be just a small hologramic kind of like AI image of individuals sort of in rolled up sleeves, pantsuit, hair flowing in the back of their, sort of brownish flowing, beautiful skin, but still has that sort of overlay of kind of like a neon pink to them. Asi, I am the artificial sibling intelligence. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Wow.
That's my cousin.
You finally let Asi out to play, Misfit.
I know, right?
Yeah, don't make me regret it.
Get the person a beer, I guess.
I don't know what's
Jaso?
going on. I am gonna and you see he kind of just very much, this is a keg. This isn't some fancy, it's all the same drink as it's very college keg. They just, as he just throws like these large, their regular size glasses are pints. That's what they normally drink out of. So you see like these very large, just very medieval looking keg, like almost like pitchers, and he just hands it off to you. You see he's just holding one too as well. Just, all right, drink up.
When Vix comes, she hands it to Eden because it looks like they need to.
Eden takes both in stride.
It's incredibly strong. You know that even beer isn't that crazy. These people drink some hard stuff, and you see, not really phased by it, whether
Yeah.
it be to tolerance or just the way they're built different. It's just, they are just almost like coffee to them, really, which is, says a lot.
It's like they drink battery acid on
Yep.
or like on the mortal plane anyway, so how bad could it be?
It's amazing.
You see Jusso kind of move up a chair, kind of gestures for you all to sit down. You see Aries trying to desperately grab the beer. It's just not working, but they kind of just give up. And you kind of see, kind of sits down. Okay, so explain to me why I'm looking at 4 individuals here that seem to be not from here.
Because you're dreaming?
You see Golo go, are you serious?
Okay, I was trying to see if I could get you with that. No, j Golo had a vision.
Again, with the visions, how many times do we have to tell you? His visions are a gift, but not to be abused. And clearly, you have abused the powers.
No, I'm using the power to help. This sounds worse as it comes out of my mouth. It's not
no,
as
really.
no. You know that my parents can do something about the Weepers, about the ash, about everything, right? Yes or no?
I am praying to the gods above that your parents don't know. Because if your parents knows, then we have to leave. And we spent a lot of time making this place our home. The last thing we want is the 4 horsemen of the freaking apocalypse going through the freaking streets trying to find 1, their child, and 2, what is the equivalent of unwelcome guest.
Why don't we fight back then if we worked so hard to make this place our home?
We are trying to survive. Fighting is a thing of the past. We do not have numbers. We do not have the same might or magic. So what we do is for the survival of our people, rather than us trying to live in some fantasy of yours where we all band together and, fight the evils of the world like this is some children's story.
What's the point then? Why be so powerful, be larger than life, if we're gonna run away and cower? Everyone's so focused on surviving and no one's focused on living, okay? And I can tell because no one's angry. Where's your anger? Does running away not piss you off at least? Make you feel like a coward?
I think, especially the way you're speaking, this is going to be a reveal your heart to try to get them on your side. You do have some darkness tokens, so you can decide to spend these before you roll. But if you would do me the kindness of rolling a reveal your heart.
Okie dokie. Something that Riot would never say. I'm gonna use 2. I'm gonna use 2 of my darkness.
Let's go.
I don't know stakes. Okay.
Oh, it's perfect. You made it. Look at that.
Let's go.
So with that, your heart reaches theirs and you choose one from below. Either you grow closer, you get a bond with them, you soothe your heart, you clear a condition. Not really important, I don't think. You taught them something important, you mark an XP, or you pretty much are getting your point across here. Or they gave you hope and you mark a ruin. So pretty much you can kind of play with this. So what do you want out of this scenario here?
I think Riot has been preaching to a crowd that has their backs turned. Like she's standing at the back of the concert yelling, trying to have her own, like trying to have her voice heard. And for one person to just turn around would mean the world to them. So I think I would like to gain 1 bond on them. And just make them see, like, I'm not being stupid. Maybe I'm being stupid, but I'm not, like, doing this without heart. I'm not doing this for selfish reasons. I actually do believe that selfishly, I have to be the one to start the revolution, and it's going to start with these people behind me. And I can't see past any of that.
Kind of takes it in stride and goes, and what about the rest of you four mortals? As you see, kind of comes out his mouth, just,
Hey, stop slinging around that M word, okay?
What else am I going to call you?
What do you think?
Mean,
okay, dude, what do I look like to you other than immortal?
You look like a walking meat sack, I think.
I'm gonna eat you if you don't get your shit together.
Oh. That's a little forward.
No, and I think of Vic like very much. This one's for show. So Riot, this would be the first time that you would be seeing this. You see from head to maybe stomach, Vic kind of split open like a zipper, kind of splitting himself open. I think maybe this time we see like a blackened Vic that almost looked like a shadow come out, and it's like Vic opening like the pouch of horrors. And you see a bunch of insects sprawling out of Vic's body as she just kind of zips herself back up and then looks at Jasso and is like, "You want to run that back to me again?"
You see Gore immediately kind of just drops his drink. Just like, ah.
Right, takes the longest sip and does like a big gay sit. They like legs like absolutely, and they just like take the longest sip and they're like, okay, I'm gonna watch every single one of you. We do have warriors here. Like,
you see Jessica go, oh wow, that looks like a hot mess.
It's something. So stop calling me immortal.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I call you Zipper then. I think that's what we're going to call you now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Zipper, what about the rest of you? I can tell Cracks over there, points to you, Heaven. So Zipper and Cracks.
Right, does laugh.
I'm going to need a slight my name is Heaven.
It's
I don't
Cracks.
know. No.
Okay, all right. So Crack Heavens. So that there. And what about the rest of you?
Misfit, I think, just kind of like shifts in their seat and says, Misfit, rightful heir to the throne of hell.
Ooh, a demon. We haven't had a demon in quite a while. It is an honor. I do not know how to curtsy, but I'm going to assume this is how you curtsy. And he kind of just gets up. Very sarcastically, almost like, that title doesn't matter here, but anyway. And then looks over to you, Eden. And you?
Eden reaches over to take Aussie's glass of beer, or rather mug, or rather pint, and slides it over, because I think they're done with their first two at this point. Like, they're done with the first two, and there's like something like weirdly alive about them, where like their face looks very dead, but whatever the sand that makes up the entire interior of their body is shifting around, so it's almost like this noise underneath their skin. Like this energy, this magic, this sound. And they take one little sip. Eden. Just Eden. But your friend here is right. You need to stand up and fight. Actually fight.
Okay, easier said than done. And you sure it is Eden? You're sure it's not Edie? You look like someone that passed by a little bit a while ago.
Somebody who passed by. Say more about that.
I mean, it was a long time ago. I mean, time moves.
I said say more about that.
Okay, clearly, you see, kind of gets another pint, just like, well, a long time ago, a individual such as yourself passed by here. They were looking for something. They were in town. They found whatever they were looking for and then went along their way through the valley. But yeah, that's pretty much what I know.
What were they looking for?
Don't know. Something in town. Looking
Where was
about
it?
Parents.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, that's bad.
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear you, Chris.
Parents.
Where exactly did they pick up what they were looking for?
Don't know. Again, I kind of just waved, said hi, and just went about my day. There's something in town, so maybe if you want to do a little investigating, so...
Fine, how about this? We do a little bit of investigating, and we help you fight off your little weeper problem. Fair trade for our fine skills. I promise you we know exactly what the fuck we're doing.
Hey, what's a weeper, by the way? Like,
I don't know yet. We'll
crying?
figure it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm asking them.
Okay, great.
You see Golo kind of just like, oh, weeper. He feels unsettled as you feel the entire table shake.
You look terrified, Golo, and while I love that vibe, I need you to give me actual answers.
Should I tell them about the tale of the Queen of Sorrows? Is that appropriate in this setting?
I mean,
Right?
somebody's got to do it.
Well, a long time ago, there was, the land of metal in which band fought bands in epic battles of glory. It was a very bloody situation, music of divine nature, so they were fighting for the favor of fans to power their engines of righteousness and all whatnot. And let's just say one of these bands took a battle of the bands a little too hard and wiped a village clean from Earth, or this plane in that instance, but they left a survivor. It is said that this survivor was walking endlessly through the valley of the Banshee Queen, and they found a river, and they were so pumped up with rage and guilt and sorrow, and they sang a song that spilled into the nearby river, corrupting it and the bands of the people that murdered all of them. So, to make a long story short, there was a whole war against everybody, against this Queen of Sorrows, and then the gods, came down from above and shot magic into 4 people to help, sort of like our champions or our guardians, which you know as the 4 Horsemen. It is an honorary title, not like you mortals tend to always think it's death and war and strife. That was a long time ago. As you know, it's not the same as it is now. But they make sure that no one ever finds this river or, even tries to investigate it. But the Reapers themselves are terrible magic wielders. They follow the command of the rivers, and they make sure everyone feels that pain that the Queen of Sorrows fed. So, a lot of death and destruction and sadness. And they say that, when you're in the darkness or, you can still hear the weeping of your death coming. So it's a bedtime story, but a very real bedtime story.
Hey, Chris, quick question.
Yes.
What does Eden's jacket say?
I think you know exactly what it says on the back.
But I forgot.
It does say Queen of Sorrows on it.
Okay.
It just kind of
Right, can't read.
wearing that right now.
But the thing about it is written in just plain old English, and you can see that what they have on there is a little bit more of like a weird dialogue mix between angelic, celestial, and demonic. So it seems like they have their own sort of language. So it's like they're looking dead at it, but it's like they don't know what it is. They've never been to the mortal plane. They don't know what English is. So
Yeah.
it's just,
I read sheet music. I don't read whatever
Yeah.
that is.
if it was music notes, then they would maybe be concerned or in the language, but they don't know anything about what's on the bag. So
No, just looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
2 pairs of eyes. Again, double teamed.
What?
In front of everyone?
That was me describing. That was not
I
actually in
literally,
character.
it was funny because I didn't hear you. All I heard was double seam.
You're not actively listening as a role player, CJ. Oh my
These
god, how are we gonna
fucking
play
You see what I
this
have to deal
game?
with, audience? You see what I have to deal with? These unprofessional. No.
Yes. We gotta bring back the river.
No,
Wet
we
the
don't
river.
want the river
No,
back. The
not
river
the
needs to
No,
stay
river's
dead.
Okay,
bad.
stay but dead. Okay, what about the Weepers? Do we want them gone?
Well, the thing is, we don't know what's happening. See, the river was closed up, and, they didn't appear. And then all of a sudden, when that stranger rolled in, the person that looks like them but is not them apparently, they started coming back. And it's a whole thing.
Have you considered that they might have a point?
Who?
The Weepers, the Queen of Sorrow. I mean, you described a destruction of an entire town and a lone survivor. They lost everything. They lost everyone. Do you not understand how they might be feeling? The grief?
It's a little hard for me to connect, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so kind of go, we don't like how you say, very familiar to your Vikings or your warlike cultures. We thrive on war. It's our thing. It's what allows us to, if we die, we go see, our ancestors. And for most of us, we await for the great concert to play the last with the horsemen for the apocalypse. But it's death is kind of our thing, so it's not something we're are particularly afraid of. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but the consequences of their actions have affected generations beyond their own.
Well, then perhaps we ought to go pay them a visit. We ought to go to the root source, no? To the river itself.
Good luck finding it. Nobody knows where it is.
Oh, don't worry. We'll find it.
That's not ominous at all. I see kind
They
of gets up.
just kind of speak like that. No worries.
Yeah,
that's
it's their
creepy.
middle name, essentially.
You know
Ominous?
as well as I do that I don't have a middle name, and neither do you.
Have a last name?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna see my way out of this A and B conversation, so just try to be quick. The longer you stay, the more likely your parents are gonna come and kill us all.
Then if they ask you anything, what are you gonna say?
I don't know. Have you ever tried to lie to Ferocity before? It's not fun when they have their claws out.
It's very easy.
Just remember, I have a town to take care of and a band to manage. If it's between my band and you know what I'm choosing.
Glad to know I have your vote of confidence.
As you see, he kind of walks out. Gola, don't mess this up. As he drinks more. Well, if you guys want to get started, you can try to look around town. Maybe I don't know how you guys do this thing. Do you get like feelings, or do you kind of eat everything, or do you need to like touch everything, or do you need to like smell everything?
Okay. Well, yeah. All the senses, I guess. Yeah, what can we do to help? I am a hammer. I don't really do well with asking questions, so if I can deliver you to someone or to a place, I will help.
Do we need to beat the crap out of someone? Are we interrogating? We can do
Real
interrogating.
questions.
We can do interrogating.
I need to know more about where Edie was, what they found, and where they brought it to. Especially if it has to do with the river.
Sadly, I don't really know much about this Edie.
Do you know anyone who does?
Well, there is one guy. As you see this sort of a look of his face of like, he's a bit of an ass, if we're gonna be very honest with ourselves, but they could talk to the critic.
Critic?
Critic of Alphas.
Is this someone I hate?
this is someone who's very pompous.
Oh.
Their scolding reviews are not exact. They're for the betterment of society, but yeah, you know him to be an historian of all the events that have ever happened, will happen, or are happening.
Hey, we could go to the critic, I guess, is an option.
I
Good.
don't like the critic.
And listen, Riot. I think you're right. I think you should be fighting a lot more than you are currently. Why don't we make that a little bit more possible for you?
Feel free. Listen,
and there is
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
and that frenetic, like, clockwork thing going on in Eden's mind has, like, clarified into hunger, like ambition, violent desire, right?
Nice.
Like, to, like, they have sunk their teeth into something, and it is very clear that they are not going to let it go now.
I think you hear Riot just says, I mean, I'm a hammer, feel free, point at the nail. And I don't know if this counts. Am I allowed to ask about this? The darkness tokens? I get 2 to 4 darkness tokens when I ask someone to use my power as they see fit.
Yeah.
And I
counts.
gain darkness tokens when I ask someone to follow my instructions.
Yeah. Narrative foils?
Look at you.
Disgusting.
Foils?
I would say
Off
2
each
for
other.
each of you because it's kind of a low stake situation here. So
Yeah.
2-2.
I would like, unless we're about to move, I would like to talk to Misfit as we walk.
Fantastic. In anticipation to help speed this up, if you, Eden, could roll me a search for key or grasp keys while this is going on, please. We got the helm.
Yeah, as we're walking, as we're leaving, I think there's a moment where Vic kind of sidles up next to Misfit, which probably hasn't happened in a while, you know? I'm assuming that Misfit is standing next to, like, Heaven, so Heaven can hear this. And I think Vic just kind of, like, with, like, a fun little smile on her face, just kind of sidles up, hands in the pocket. It's like, yeah, so are you gonna empathize the wrong way this time and maybe, like, fuck something up today, or
And Misfit, I think, is holding on to, while Vic has, her hands in her pockets, Misfit has theirs around the strap that keeps the sniper on their back. And you can hear like a click as it kind of like moves against their back when you say that, and Misfit kind of like tenses up.
yeah.
And
It's like,
he
that
just
Queen of Sorrows sounds pretty relatable.
What are you trying to say, Vic?
You know, it's been a while since we've talked, Mizzy.
You've never called me that before.
You're right. I could start. I got a fun nickname today, Zipper.
Yeah, I don't. Do you like that one?
I don't know, it kind of fits, you know. And then I think there's like a moment where Vic like lets a long mouth open on their arm. It seems that she's getting like better and more like comfortable with the hunger and the powers as time goes on. And just kind of opens the mouth like a zipper, which is kind of weird and horrifying because I don't think mouths are supposed to open that way, but closes, opens.
I see that you're getting a lot more comfortable with that.
And then some new things are happening. Some old things are coming back. And I think that's another moment where she like does we'll call it like a moonwalk, going upside down and walking beside you, talking to you upside down.
What is this really about, Vic? I know you're not here just to shoot the shit with me.
I mean, I could be, but you don't like to talk to me ever since the breakup.
Yours or?
No, yours, right? Is that what this is all about? You know, we haven't chatted. You know, Eden's been clinging to me, which isn't really a problem. We've always been, well, the worst to each other. Heaven's gotten a little bit more.
I'm sorry.
leads
Did I
over.
hear that correctly? Because this is actually news to me.
What? That your sibling? What? That your sibling hangs out with me? or that
Yeah,
you
but-
have been pulling Misfit along like a fun little toy?
I mean, I
haven't
think we've
been
all
pulling
seen the way
anyone
that Eden's
along.
been dressing lately.
There it is. There it is. You love keeping tabs, Misfit, and you love
I don't
holding
keep
on to
tabs, I pay attention.
Pay attention. What about that gun, Misfit, that you've been so casually holding on to your fucking body?
What about it?
Is that the one that killed? Oh God, is that what was his name? Where he just
Vicious.
disappeared to? What? Heaven. And you can both see that there was like a lack of calmness in Vic that you have not seen in a long while.
He
Is this-
died.
He
That's all that
died,
matters.
and you so casually took his gun. Let me guess, another conspiracy theory? The last time you had one, Misfit, you jumped into the teeth of a bunch of fucking zombies. So tell me, enlighten me, what's going on?
Why don't I ask you the same thing, Vicious? What's going
Why?
on between you and Eden? Why is he wearing your jacket? Well, not today, but
Not today. Yes. Today he's wearing the jacket of the thing that we might need to find. What's going on between me and Eden is, well, I'd say it's none of your business, but I haven't changed at all. I've stuck close. I make sure that Eden is not throwing themselves off of another metaphorical fucking cliff like they always do, because the two of you can't control yourselves. You can't be kind to each other for a little bit. You want to stab and stab and stab, and we all just have to watch.
you are saying this to the wrong person.
I am. What should I be saying to Eden then?
Look, I'm not saying that the decision that I made was right. Okay. And I think Misfit is like getting quieter, whispering just in case, because he doesn't want Eden to hear any of this as we're all kind of walking. And I imagine Eden and Riot are kind of engaged in their own conversation while this is happening. Look, I recognize that I made a mistake. Okay. But Eden has been lying to me this whole time, and I'm going to find out why.
What do you
And I
mean?
think at that, Misfit kind of opens their leather jacket. And inside, you can see that there is a very familiar, tattered, kind of worn down, very well worn, well used notebook inside, like hanging out of the internal pocket. And you recognize that. This is Eden's notebook, the one that they use to take notes, to muse, to their research, all of it. I haven't read it yet. But I'm going to figure out why Eden has been lying this whole time.
Let me ask you one singular question. What is Eden lying about?
And you can see an answer forming on Misfit's tongue, and they swallow it down in service of another, and they throw up, they regurgitate a different answer instead. Tears, death, revival. They had a ritual that they were planning on doing to resurrect him, and they didn't. And because they didn't, that cult got to him first. I want to know why.
I
And
think
you
there's
can
a-
sense.
Yeah. No, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say,
please.
Vic, I think because we've all been so close, like you can sense, and so can you, Heaven, in this moment, because you are overhearing this whole thing. That is only half true.
They could probably taste that on like your electricity. But is it going to press? Because there's something more obvious that Vic catches. Yeah. Isn't it for you?
What do you mean?
The fuck? What do you mean? What do I mean? You're wondering why you're the person you're supposed to love so much in the world wouldn't bring back your dead brother that obviously stokes up a million pieces of trauma, gestures to your gun, like the gun on your body, makes you act so frenetically. You wonder why Eden wouldn't bring him back all willy-nilly. It was probably for you, dumbass. And I think like Vic gets a little annoyed at that and then looks at Heaven and if you're gonna string them along, at least do it for a better reason. You keep
What
fucking around.
reasons do I have, really?
You always have your reasons, Heaven. And I think that's when Vic walks away, still upside down.
I think at this instance, Eden, you start to pick up the energy that's kind of leading you here, right? You sense that sort of energy coming up, and you notice that wherever this information you need even is the way Riot is leading you, as you kind of going one by one, unless anybody really wants to say anything. You all proceed to go into one of the nearby, almost like stone etchings, as you see Golo kind of begin to do almost like an arcane hand motion, as you see it begins to open up a rift. As it opens up to what looks like to be almost like a fiery plane. You see there sort of stone books made of magma. You see there is various vinyls that are hanging among the wall in that sort of gold pristine with weapons along it. And you see an individual in the middle currently archiving. Their skin is that of molten magma, hardened, almost in that ashy gray, with that eyes still being that swirling magma, and their hair ever so long. As you see, they kind of look over, and specifically to you, Riot, go, "Yo, what's good, Riot? It's been too long."
It's actually been just the amount of time that it took me to cool off from seeing you last. So,
Chill. I'm just making conversation.
talk less. My friends truly have to speak to you, so, you know,
Friends
hand it
already.
off.
How generous you are. And Eden like walks backwards for 2 seconds before turning. And I think they're like looking around at all of these runes, all of this stuff, right, with this hungry, hungry expression. And they go and like pat one of their jacket pockets. And then that expression, like for the first time since getting into town, hiccups and falters for a moment as they like pat a pocket and then pat another pocket and then like shove both of their hands kind of like frantically into their pockets. And then like it hiccups again and they have to like save face very clearly. But there's like a very clear journey of like hunger, I need something. I grab for it, it's not there. I am weak. I need to not show weakness. It shuts down, right? Like it's so fucking clear on their face what happens. And then they like finally complete the turn to face this person. And they take their hands out of their jacket pocket.
What's good? My name is Alphas, but you can call me the critic of Alphas. It's a whole name, you gotta say the whole thing. I earned that title very much.
I thought you just said it.
Do you have anything to write with?
My pleasure. As you see, he forms a pencil out of the magma. It kind of hardens as it just becomes a piece of like charcoal that you can just keep writing till nub.
Yeah. And Vic just hands Eden a piece of paper and this thing.
I don't need your help. And again, like a flash of that snake tongue and the it's like not even Eden's brand of stabbing, because anytime they would say something cruel to you, anytime they would stab you and twist the knife, it was always for a reason, right? This is just kind of meaningless cruelty that they're throwing at you for like no reason, really. But they take it anyway. And look at Alphas. Alphas.
Yeah.
I'll cut to the chase here. Don't want to waste any more of your precious time, critic that you are.
Love it.
Edie, what do you know?
Know a lot about that cool cat. What do you want to know?
Everything. I want to know everything.
Well, they came a long time ago. They were looking for their parents. I thought it was a sweet little thing, almost like something out of a child's book or a beginning opener of a awesome album. But told them what they needed to know. They wanted to get to that river. You know what I mean? That dark river.
And what did you know about Edie's parents?
It was a union that could form a million love songs. I'm telling you, it's the stuff of legend. Let's just say being from an eldritch horror mixed with a divine deity of death makes an interesting couple.
An eldritch horror. Say more about that.
Tulok. He is the Dream Eater. He is Mr. Right. He is dead.
And what do you know about how he died?
Don't know. All I know is it made his hotel an absolute hell.
His hotel.
Yeah, Hotel Eternity. Great place to hang, sadly turned into a madhouse.
How unfortunate. You don't happen to know the way, do you? Love me a madhouse.
I can't do that. But I do know what you seek. If you're trying to follow the little rabbit, you gotta go down the hole. AKA, you gotta get to the Valley of the Banshee Queen.
Point me in that direction.
I can, but just to let you know, it's a bit of a labyrinth. The last thing you want to do is get stuck in there, or you're just gonna keep healing the whales. And the whales. And goddamn the whales.
Don't worry. I'll follow my heart all the way through.
I like this one. As you see, he kind of forms on that paper, touches it, as it forms what looks like to be a compass of some sort. This should help you get your little way where you need to go, though I think you may want to hurry.
Why is that?
Snaps on the outside, and you see Gola kind of go, what is he talking about? And you see there's a guy sprinting down as you hear him just screaming, the horsemen are coming! The horsemen are coming!
Okay, my parents are here. We should go. It's bad news.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can I summon my amp here?
Yep,
through
it's
the
almost
through the
like
building?
It's like it's almost like a pet, but as you sort of,
Yeah.
and he goes, come on, I just got this place renovated.
Yeah. Fuck you. Gives the critic the finger as I hop on, and I just tell everyone to get on the back. Is that like a map
Gods.
or something? I'll say to Eden.
Yeah, Eden hops on right behind you, kind of like hooks an arm around your waist, I think,
Uh-huh.
if you allow it, and then like puts the compass in front of both of you, like leaning over your shoulder, so that they're still holding it. They don't seem to want to let it go, but they are letting you drive.
Okay. Everyone else.
Godspeed, Eden. Make your dad proud. As you see, he dissipates into the ashes. As you all begin to go through, you see Jasso give you a look just as you're leaving of us like, I'm gonna have words if I live. But as you're kind of all rushing through, you see your parents on the horizon. As you see what looks like to be almost a storm following what looks like to be almost a hurricane in itself. You see the sort of thunder and the wind pick up behind you as you can just faintly see almost like the sort of heat mirage of 4 vehicles riding almost side by side towards you. But you have the lead ahead, and you do manage to keep it for the most part as you guys drive to what is known as the Valley of the Banshee Queen. Specifically, as you guys are kind of rolling up to it, you start to notice the almost area begins to change. As you see what looks like to be the entrance to the valley, what looks like to be very tall-esque, almost like mountainous ranges, but almost like a maze in a sense. But you can see what looks like to be dry ice fog that is just almost like if the mountain was breathing as it just phases out of it. And you can see what looks like to be statues dedicated to each essential part of a band of warriors along the edges. Your guitarist, your bassist, your lead singer, and your drummer. as the smaller individuals are all that house that power of your roadies, tech producers, and everything in between that is needed to put on a righteous show. But as you get to the mouth of this place, before you're trying to figure out where to go, your parents are behind, but you also notice that there is something towards the left of you, which seems to be more massive in nature and closer. As you see, the cultists were on their way. You see specifically, you know this to be a battle stage, right? This is almost like a mobile headquarters for bands when they fight. They can, almost like war rigs in a sense, as you see what looks like to be a stage that is mobile with almost like tank-like tracks on it, moving towards you with everyone on stage setting up the weapons on the sides and everything in between. But you could also see what looks like to be the giant sort of, it's holding like, I'm trying to think, almost like a crusher in a sense of like how they pave roads, that circular kind of thing, but more jagged spikes in it that will just crush anything that gets in the way. So you have control of this moment as the four of you not necessarily stop, but are getting towards this. What will we like to do in this instance, as it looks like you're getting intercepted here?
Hey, Hammer.
Huh?
I think it's time to swing.
I look back at everyone in the back of the car, make eye contact with Golo. What's gonna happen? I think despite my parents, I'm gonna say, do you know how to, you just keep your hands on the, keep your hands on this, grab this thing,
I know how to drive this thing,
okay,
okay?
cool.
Wow, this is a monster. I mean, I know how to drive it, but it feels powerful.
Oh, I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. I was really talking to Eden. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But Gola, yeah, well, you can drive it.
No, I've got it.
No, they got it. They got it. Just
Okay.
back.
And I think that in this moment, let's see what I can do. I think that I am very much trying to, I feel like this is like an Unleash the Dark situation. Or actually, what I want to do is jump from the bike into the air, playing my instrument in the direction of the cultists, in that wicked machine that is trying to converge on us, in a way to delay it, knowing that they will continue to like go forward. I would just like to like jump into the sky, play my guitar, and let out this shrill scream, which from this like bassy speaking voice makes absolutely no sense. But from the lowest of lows, from all of our altos singing mezzo, it just soars above and shoots in the direction of the cultists.
Here's my question. Do you want to do this more like a regular attack, or do you want to pop an ult kind of situation here?
I think I want to pop an ult if I can.
All right, so this is going to be a power through the darkness.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can still,
you
got to declare if you're going to spend darkness tokens, but this one gives a little bit more control or changing of the situation. So you're rolling still your 2d6s as normal.
I'm going to spend one of my darkness. Oh, I feel like I should just do two.
It's up to you. It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble. I'm going to do two. Right. I would like to make sure that this happens.
Put that on your gravestone.
Yeah. Spent 2. Oh, it didn't add 2. Would that be
an 8?
8?
So it's a success. So with
nice,
that,
good.
You use your powers with great precision and effect, changing the situation before you. So what are you trying to really get out of this situation? What's the main thing you want to do?
I want someone else said it, but slowing the tempo is exactly what I want. I want them to suddenly not, I don't want them to realize they're going extremely slow, but as the others are driving, and I'm sure there's some sort of kick and like weird weight balance shift to the amp as they drive forward. Anyone who looks back at the population in that the cultists in that machine, like I want them to realize, like, see the ferocity in their faces, and or even just like see the ferocity of them like coming closer and closer, and then realize it starts getting like slower and slower and slower.
Fantastic. As you boom, 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 it kind of waves, hits them as it slows,
Mhm.
as they go at an incredibly slower pace, as you see almost like their rig kind of loses electricity. You can see that most of the stuff here is powered by fans, which you guys haven't really understood, but as you do, you see that pieces of broken equipment come off, and you see what looks like to be almost like spectral spirits begin to pour out of it, almost like oil, as they kind of return back into the earth before you manage to get a chance to boom, jump back with everyone else as you all vroom, go into the valley. Now, this is very much kind of like Star Wars trench run energy, as it is very tight in here. And as you are going through, you have a compass, so it's not as hard at the moment. But before you do anything else, you take a beat. Dry ice everywhere, and almost like columns upon columns of this rock. You see the cultists, while they were slowed down, they managed to get in, but then you begin to hear their screams. You slow them down enough that your parents intercepted them. And your parents are doing what your parents do best, as you can only hear the faint screams of men and women pleading for their life, which is horrifying due to the fact that echoes travel here. Before the last of the voices is just silent. You have a moment here as they were busy with these cultists. What are we doing in this situation as you are within this trench run situation?
Uh, I I think I'm waiting to hear what everyone else wants to do, but there's definitely like hearing the screams behind me. I think that there is a part of me that is getting like that is slightly distant, a little bit more distant than I was before, because it is that rage, that anger, and that fear that I kind of feed off of, that I'm like, I'm just like, they're so close and I don't want to be with my parents, but also this is kind of what gives me my power. Um, so I'm just like turning around, I'm looking, and I just have the amp. Are we able to like drive it in here?
It's very like, again, X-wing trench run. It's
Yeah.
slight movements. You can't like take a dip unless there is like an opening at the moment, but you're straight through right now. What about everyone else as you're
Yeah.
kind of in this situation, preparing for what is essentially the four horsemen of the apocalypse that are on your tail that might come to you after they just murdered what looked like to be a tank in a sense? They apparently just with ease.
I think Vic looks unhinged is the best word. I think there's a moment where Vic would have asked, like, "Hey, what's going on?" But I think instead Vic is standing at the back of the motorcycle of the amp, like waiting with a huge smile on like her face, and waiting for the literal four horses of the apocalypse to come. And they probably turn to you, Ride, and they're like, so this is your parents."
Yeah. Yep.
We're so screwed.
If you want to meet the family, we've got yearning, we've got ferocity, we've got disorder, and we've got hope.
Yeah, yeah. How about we see if we can squash hope first? And there is just like and it almost sounds very flat effect, very much very Eden
Uh-huh.
when this comes out of Vic's look. And she says, and she kind of looks at you, and it almost as if Vic is like tasting something on her tongue, and she's like, "You seem hungry."
Who? Me?
Yeah, it's a riot.
Yeah, something like that.
What is it?
And I ooh, There's violence behind us and a labyrinth in front of us, and it is taking everything within me to not turn around.
Come on, Riot, turn around.
I can't. That would kill you all. You have no idea.
Riot.
It could be fun. It could be fun. It could be really fun.
Riot.
Fun.
And I think you see Vic is literally unzipping and just says, turn around. And can I do whatever the move that Riot did last time? What is it? Power through the dark?
Yeah, it's the alt, the pop the art. So pop the alt there. That's the power of the darkness.
May I have some darkness tokens to use in the face of this? Because I told someone to give into their hunger.
You get two. All right, I see you power gamers here. I would love to see it. We'd love to see it.
I want to use those too.
All right.
Okay.
Godspeed.
I want to look cool, so let's hope I do this. Oh God.
Oh God.
For starting off great.
9 with my 2 darkness tokens that you just gave me that I already now don't have. Can I also have some more when I was mean to Misfit for later?
But I'm gonna
answer that later. But yes, I got a 9.
You know what? I'm gonna make it interesting. You want darkness tokens? I'll give you darkness tokens. I'll count this as a 5 as you get 3 more. I will count this.
Thank God, I just used
as
some.
You do get your thing done, but you are now also torn in between. So when you're with that, you have a choice here. You don't have to roll anything. Either you're going to let your monstrous nature show and describe the damage you do in your outburst, mark 1 ruin, describe how you diminish your power and conform to the the first one?
The first one.
Okay, all right.
I don't need the rest of them.
Okay, yeah.
Because Vic is, and this feels wrong, as I'm sure everyone can gather from the everything in this episode, because unzipping herself fully, like head to toe, letting out whatever the shadow is inside of her, it grows and grows. Vic's skin falls off as if she was taking off like a costume. And Vic jumps out of herself, becoming bigger and hungrier and a monster that is both a darkness and teeth, and conforming to probably, last season when Vic was literally growing larger and larger when Vicious would come out. And a voice that is not like Vic's at all comes out. It's definitely Vicious's voice. Comes out, and Vic is just like crashing into the sides of this because like a huge monster.
Oh God.
You could ride Vicious.
I think.
In what way?
Yes.
You decide.
You can mount Vicious.
I think if Riot is still hanging on to the bike, like leading the bike, I think that Eden, you would need to reach forward and take control of the bike, because there's just like, if your words do cut through and actually, like, you succeeded in that, correct? I start letting go of the bars, and truly the space around us starts to glow in this hyper realistic pop art, like colors, brighter and more beautiful than you've ever seen. And I think that Riot just starts almost turning into like not a cartoon character, but like a comic book character, like a Watchmen level kind of deep, dark, acid like, but very bright version of themselves as they let go and start. Oh, you know what it is? The fucking spot. It's like the spot, but like very bright neon. As I try to get darkness tokens by giving into my power and letting it erase my will.
Yeah, this is gonna be a 3. I think it's a good. So you get 3 darkness tokens.
So tired of us.
No, look, you need to. You haven't been whole season. It's about time.
No, it's me. I'm tired. I'm so tired.
But yeah, I use my powers to great position. Can I please, I don't know, do something really fucked, I don't know, eat hope or something, or at least like smack a horseman?
I think you kind of, since you said you're getting bigger, you begin to sort of, as you're kind of clawing through, you kind of start making an avalanche, which means that you drive some more distance between you and the horseman. So you bought yourself a little bit more time as you sort of going through here. It is very tight, very spacious. You're able to drive yourself more distance. I think in this instance is Eden. Are you taking the helm here?
Yes. I think like as Riot starts to like let go, Eden just like literally snakes in. They like move around your body, take the handlebars, and like the tiniest little like eye up, and it's just like, go be a monster. And they are gonna keep driving.
I think for your instance, Eden, here to help save you, help along here, can you please grasp a key for me as you continue this?
Yes, I can. I'm gonna spend 2 darkness tokens.
Please do.
8!
Eight.
I've 8'd it!
Ooh, you all
You
rolled
ate,
low.
okay.
It's good. But good. Whew. As you're going through, giving that distance between yourselves, as you're kind of going through, you begin to feel something. The compass does help, but it is a feeling for you, Eden. You feel that sort of same emotion you had when you had to wrench your heart from your chest, as you feel a pool of that same energy in a direction.
And I think they just like veer the bike. Like even if the compass is like, it'll take me in the right direction, right? Like, but almost in a roundabout way, Eden feels the like, this is the strongest way to get there. And it's no longer about like going through the turns of everything. It's like they are going to make a straight beeline there by trying to pull on their magic to turn the walls in front of them into sand so that they can like make a pillar to drive through. Like they can make a space to drive through.
Fantastic. As you, almost in the sense of cheating in a sense, you immediately turn, almost like slamming into the wall. You all get concerned before you just, as you kind of have to get a little air time before you skid across what seems to be a dark cavern. As the sand sort of shapens up, you've given yourself some good distance now. You had a good lead time, even greater lead time, because they can't just crash do everything. But where you are now is almost completely dark. Specifically, the only light source that is in here is coming from what looks like to be broken stained glass of what looks like to be a collapsed cathedral that is hanging over this entire place, as it is providing the only purple kind of dim light of this area, as you can hear the rushing of water on the other side, as you are deep within the valley, in wherever this is. And you can feel that energy of heart-wrenching pain coming from inside the cathedral.
I think there's almost like a stagger as the amp kind of like jerks to a halt, I imagine. Are Misfit and Heaven still on it? Is everyone still on it?
Everybody's kind of still on it. You see Golo kind of doesn't have a great time as he kind of is very dizzy. But rough landing, but everybody makes it.
I think Eden just kind of like kicks off a little bit and staggers, right? Like kind of like grabs at their chest for half a second before like righting themselves up. Like there is like a string attached to their forehead that's pulling them toward this thing. And they like wobble a little bit and they turn and look at Heaven, wherever he is on the back of the bike. Come on, Heaven. Aren't you curious? Aren't you just a little bit curious about Mom and Dad? Right? Don't you want to know?
I would if I remembered them.
I don't remember them either. But isn't this my chance to stop poisoning everything around me? Now you and I can both finally know. You don't want to know?
You're awful.
I know.
3 darkness tokens to you, Heaven. Sorry, that's cold. That's cold.
Just gonna start giving them to us to be.
You keep throwing in, so you keep hitting each other. It's like it counts. It's getting very vile in here. But 3 to you. Are you at 5 yet, or
Me?
I
was like, oh no.
What happens at 5 darkness?
Well, remember that you reset to 0 for today's episode, so
Yeah, wait, I'm trying to think.
How many do you have in total? Because I know I gave you before.
I'm at 5.
Okay, so you get torn between. So you have a couple choices, same as Vic had here. Either you give into that monster's nature and describe the damage that happens. You gain a ruin. You diminish your power, so you kind of, lose all your darkness tokens and you kind of conform to the humanity. Or you bond with someone and describe how they directly or indirectly help you gain control. So you're teetering here.
We're awful people, so I guess. And as the silence settles, that chattering is back in Heaven's like, you just let them do this all the time. When are you going to let them stop? They're going to just keep running over you, running over everyone until you say something about it. And then that's when they're stepping out of the car, their feet mechanical as they march toward Heaven. Their wings are finally stretched in their full glory, kind of like a tawny owl. So they're like very light brown and speckled. And in that shadow of the wings, you see the glow of his eyes, just absolutely furious. And despite all of this, the glowering, they just put a very gentle hand on Heaven's shoulder. I understand that you're very hurt right now and you're feeling very raw, but I want you to remember something. Everyone and everything is cast out of Eden eventually.
And this horrible, sick smile cracks across Eden's face like a fucking catastrophe. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like all Eden knew they could ever be was a fucking disaster. Just opens up, splits their face open. And it is Heaven that will eventually fall, dear sister.
You have no idea, brother.
You are so afraid. What
I'm terrified.
are you so afraid of?
Really? I'm afraid of losing you. And not losing you in the ephemeral, flesh-like sense. Losing the essence of you. The you that I love. The you that I tolerate. Between these massive swaths of bullshit.
And how long have I lost you, Heaven? When was the last time you really, really talked to me?
I think I'm talking to you right now. As earnest as I can be, as heartbroken as I can be.
And there's like a twitch in Eden's mouth, and that like snake tongue falls out again. And they like it's there. And then like in their eyes, like the golden eyes that reflect yours almost flash like the surface of a mirror, and they are like pulled out of it for half a moment. I don't know, Heaven. Are you? Or are you just trying to pull me along like you're pulling along the Devil of Lies?
Really, says the first leash holder.
He put the collar on himself.
And you held on.
Of course I did. How am I supposed to let him go?
Well, you did. And I'll take better care of him. So don't worry about that.
Let him go. Heaven, I won't ask a second time.
Question here. Eden,
Yes?
are you angry? Are you angry?
Me?
Eden?
Am I angry?
Yeah.
Chris! Trouble Man! You want to ask me if I'm angry?
I just want to get confirmation before what I'm going to do is going to happen.
Yeah, no, Eden is... They were hurt before. Heaven did strike that true. This is all coming from a place of deep anguish and deep hurt. But that little snag about Misfit, now they're mad. Now they're angry.
Fantastic. As that anger, and before you get a chance to respond, Heaven, something grabs you by your legs. As you see a tentacle come out, almost made out of the black ichor and sort of ink-like viscous nature of the river respond in anger, grabs you by the leg and begins to rapidly drag you as you see Heaven is being dragged into this river. What are y'all doing as Heaven's getting dragged right now? Yes, Heaven. Muted.
You did.
I was so excited I was muted. Can I screech Queen of Sorrows as
Say
I'm
again?
being dragged?
Are you screaming Queen of Sorrows as you're being dragged?
Mm-hmm.
As you scream Queen of Sorrows as you're being dragged, it does continue until you hear something almost jump onto the tentacle as it severs it. As you see what jumps out of the darkness seems to be half feminine woman-like figure and half metal spider. As you see their lower half is metallic and chrome. Yeah, I got problems with these sort of chrome metal legs you see shimmering and shining, providing another source of light. And their upper torso is that of almost this sandy, like red and jade color as they sort of approach. Did someone say Queen of Sorrows?
And they're just more upset from being dirty than like the actual tendril shit. Because this is a Tuesday. Perhaps. Maybe out of angst who's calling.
I am Juma, and I see you brought the child of a horseman here, quite troublesome. As you see, they're almost like salivating, or not in the sense like almost tasty, just like maybe they don't have control of their glands necessarily, as it's just dripping that same sort of liquid-like material from this river. And I think for you, Riot, you know this Joma figure, but more of a legendary kind of mythic like creature. This was the queen's first aide. This was like in a sense of like the first follower of the queen. So this is kind of like, oh, the legends are real, kind of situation.
So Heaven is still being like grabbed by this tentacle, or
it seems to be cut off at the moment, but it does seem like the river is maybe more hostile to them, almost like a reaction.
okay. I still glowing like red hot. This like bright neon sign version of me will take red steps forward, like these red hot steps forward, and extend a hand to Heaven.
And being the prissy bitch that they are, they just stand up on their own.
Cool. It's I would say it's an honor to meet you, but I'm just, I don't know, the legends, they talk a lot about you. Feels like I met you a long time ago.
Indeed, I thought your parents powerful beings they are. Now, tell me, horse child, why do you come with mortals?
We're trying to find, well, I mean, I guess we found the river, but the ruin this river is causing, trying to stop it.
It is simple, quite really. The river is only runoff from a source. Only a descendant of the river can go down into its depths and find the source. For anyone else, it is poison or salvation.
I turn, I'll turn to the group and I'll say, anyone have any idea? I mean, I'm more than willing to jump in this goddamn river. I don't care. But I'm
I feel
not,
like it's not us. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's us.
yeah, I'm not a child of,
I think it's.
oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, you two were very much yelling about personal shit, which was kind of interesting as a, backseat driver. Um, don't know if you figured that shit out, but maybe that's what this is about. I don't know. I wasn't
I want to
listening.
get this over with.
And I think as you're discussing among yourselves, you begin to hear echoing from the cavern. Vroom, vroom. Your parents are getting closer.
Go now, please.
For the first time in like a week and a half, Eden looks at you. Like, looks at you when you say please. And there's like a fragmented, shattered, horrifyingly angry, betrayed look in their face. Do not beg at my altar. You have no right to it. And they pivot on their heel and start walking toward the cathedral.
I think you see Joma begin to walk with you up, almost like in the sense of someone to assist as you see them speak to you. As you seem to be not in the sense of just going into the river, you need to almost like Olympic dive into it. You need to give yourself to it. As you see they begin to go up, you remind me quite like Edie.
Edie is mine.
Edie is much more than you will ever be, to be honest. Never have I seen a creature so full of heartbreak. I felt pity for that creature that I haven't felt since the Queen.
I know. I made them that way. And I will only ever be their shadow. And they kind of turn for half a moment to look back for heaven.
He stands there for a bit, trying to repackage that shit show, and begins walking once the two of them have made a good enough distance.
And as soon as you start walking, Ida doesn't wait for you. Not this time. They keep going.
Then you find yourself on the cliffside. This river, almost like an inky black. Do you give yourself to the river?
It is so fast, Chris, that Eden gives themselves to it. It's instant.
You spread your arms out in almost like a cross-like fashion, going backwards, diving into it, before you all hear a... As you're in it, Eden, it is weird. The water below the surface is clear. It is the top that is the inky black, almost like if oil and water were separated from one another. As you try to find the source of this vileness, you begin to see what looks like an elevator of some sort, seeping this energy out as it is under the water. Do you swim towards it?
Yes, Your Honor.
As you begin to do that, you notice the tentacles begin to react as they wrap around you, trying to bring you deeper to its embrace, farther away from the elevator. It's a very important question here. Are you letting this dark embrace stop you from seeing answers, as you can barely see written off the side of this elevator, Hotel Eternity? Or do you fight this darkness and go towards answers and truths that have been in the back of your mind beyond any of these people could begin to comprehend?
There is absolutely nothing in this world, in worlds beyond, that could stop Eden from getting exactly what they want in this moment. And they want answers. They need them. And they fight. They fight so fucking viciously. And it's Riot's words, interestingly enough, that are kind of echoing around in their mind. This, like, need to fight. This need to hold on to something and swing. Destroy. I have a move. I just picked it up. It's called I Am Your Destruction. I hold onto my power with an intensity that would break most souls. I am always a single breath away from shattering under the pressure. When I allow my power to surge and cause great collateral damage, ask the Keeper what catastrophic destruction I cause, and then I can choose to.
Fantastic. What move is this again, the name of it? So I can
I Am Your Destruction.
I Am Your Destruction. All right. You going towards this thing, you know you can rid yourself of this corruption that corrupts this land. But it may come at a price of this cavern. Everyone in here, including the horsemen and Riot, as it would... You can get you, yourself, and the others out safely. You have that power. But you know that maybe these other ones may not be able to get out safely. So you can save their land, do what they request, but it may be at the cost of their protection and an innocent person who just wants to do the right thing.
Such as, to clarify, at the cost of potentially Riot and the Prophet's life?
not the prophet, the horsemen. You pretty much will. It's almost like the horsemen are the immune defense system. They protect this place from anything that might happen. If you do this, Riot may die, and also the protection that this land needs. You'll be condemning a whole planar dimension to death or without protection, which has consequences that you don't know how far that will go.
That's disgusting, Chris, first of all. That's like deeply, deeply horrible.
Hey, it's catastrophic. You said catastrophic. The
move does say,
in
fact, catastrophic.
Do it.
Yeah? Yeah? You're asking me to
whoa,
be literally
whoa,
so
whoa,
awful.
Whoa.
Do it.
Whoa.
I'm voting for you.
So
We should
CJ's
all
just
let's all
like,
take a vote. CJ says do it. What do you say?
It's
Ben?
not up to see. It's up to. You gotta leave it. It's their decision. Ain't no voting here. This ain't no democracy. This is their decision.
Under
take
the
time-
water.
Okay.
Oh, no, please. Say something
no,
else. No.
re-
Give me time. Give me time.
No, give me time. Real quick, who had the key? Did Misfit have the key?
No,
did
it's fucking heaven.
Heaven. You do notice as Eden is in the water, the key of Hotel Eternity, almost like a sense of jingling, trying to get its way out of your pocket.
Yeah, they didn't go into the water. They're standing at the edge of like the riverbank. That bitch. Under their breath, just disgusted, knowing they've done something. They have done something, but they're not going down there. The last thing, even though they're pissed off, Heaven doesn't want to hurt Eden. That is still their sibling, their brother at the end of the day. They can say the most scalding shit ever, but that doesn't take away their bond or blood. It's just a little rough patch right now. So they're just waiting for them to come up to the surface, if they do.
And I think as you are waiting, you do notice in terms of what is happening, the key itself looks like it's trying to get into the water. So you don't necessarily have to go, but are you going to let this key get out, or are you just keeping it to yourself?
Oh, absolutely not. No, this is staying in my hand in pocket and holding it still.
I think in this instance here, I'm going to roll real quick, since you're kind of not letting this key go. I'm going to roll real quick to see if it burns its way out of your hand. I see. I've been rolling pretty badly here, so let's see, what did I get? Oh, yeah. You try holding it, but it is almost an intense heat that even you can't hold on to. As you see, it burns through your pocket. You try to grab it, burns your hand, and immediately goes into the water following Eden. Eden. Now
Going in.
Are you going in?
Yes.
You going in? Fantastic. You going in. With that, Eden, your choice. What are we picking?
Eden sees a hamburger in front of them on a plate with a bunch of fries. Completely unbidden, in like the tentacles and the light and the pain and this fucked up like curse on their literal tongue. They see a hamburger in the water, and everything is telling them to fuck this whole place, fuck everything, fuck every single person on that shore, and swim toward that light to get everything they've ever wanted. And then the hamburger appears to them. And there's a moment, I think, that Eden's facade falls away in the cold water. They're shocked out of it. And in the water, in this literal river of sorrows, I think they finally start crying. And they sink into the cold embrace of whatever it is that waits for them at the bottom of the river. Because as much as they try to hold onto that ferocity, hold onto that fighting spirit, they are so sad. And that overwhelms everything else. I cannot hear you, Chris.
In terms of the options that you are choosing here, which ones are you going with?
I'm not trying to destroy everyone as a thought. So if this is going to destroy everyone, I'm letting go of this move and letting the tentacles take me.
Fantastic. I think within that, you begin to seek in as it begins to take you into your embrace. Not willing to sacrifice, but I think as you do that, you do see heaven going to the water. You see whatever is at the bottom near this elevator of some sort where the key is going to. Eden is almost, not such drowning or anything, but it looks like they're about to lose themselves to this darkness.
Heaven, of course, says fuck it to the key. That'll be another problem in possibly another couple of minutes. And they go to reach for Eden.
You do manage to get them. You see these tentacles almost, in a sense, begin to wrap them up like a mummy. Are you going to save them, or are you?
Oh, of course. Yeah. No.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I think it is almost like a sense of instantaneous for the both of you. As you see the key go into the elevator, begins to almost light up the bottom of this as you cut off the tentacles that was dragging Eden in. And as you go up, you start to notice the darkness begins to retract back to this elevator. And for all of you up top, you begin to see this Art Deco-esque elevator of golden make and model begin to slowly rise from the ground as seaweed is covered on it, and it's golden bright, illuminating this entire place as Joma begins to sip away into the darkness. As you see the two siblings come out the water, still conscious. The water hasn't, unconscious anything, as you, two of you get on land. And I think at this moment, right, your parents begin to come through. But at the moment, they are sitting back and watching, not necessarily attacking, as they can see the river is normal once more again.
I turned to Vic. Did your friends, are they dead?
Probably not.
Okay.
Misfit would be louder if they were. But look, they did it. They did the thing.
And everything, the world didn't end. Golo, you were off. We weren't all gonna die.
I peed myself a little bit. I was just glad that this
Oh.
worked out. Oh, that was stressful.
Yeah. But
You're
it's
so grounded. You are so grounded. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll call it that. And I'll just say out loud, I'll just be like, seems like someone was right about finding the river and fighting for our home. And I just like throw a stupid glance back at my parents, but stay back turned to them.
No response. You know they're staring daggers, and whatever conversation you're gonna have is gonna be a long one.
Is there an elevator here now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
I think-
see forming up almost like a pathway to enter it as well.
Yeah. I think Vic just puts a hand out to Riot and says, life demands that we do worse shit every day. We do something good. So I think that's our ticket out of here.
Thank you. For what it's worth. This really, you don't know how bad it was gonna be if you weren't here.
You're right.
So,
I don't. Like,
yeah.
not at all. I have.
You
I
have no
barely know
idea.
what's
We
going
are
on
so
here.
glad we got you folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need us again, like, please send like a message or something. I think I was going through some bad shit because you grabbed me. But I'm good now. So, and I think Vic just like punches you in the shoulder, like, yeah.
I'm huge, so it is nothing. Like, I'm probably the size that you became. I don't know. I'm pretty big. I'm like, yep.
I think this is the
Karl-like
first time
energy.
Vic like realizes that you're this big, and it's like, all right, yeah, and just leaves.
Yeah, and I think Misfit this whole time has kind of been staring into the river where both Eden and Heaven had entered and have been staring very intently at it. And when it changes and it looks like things are better, things are good, something about their countenance like lowers and there's relief that washes over them. And the kind of, at that point, the turn around and just listen to this conversation between Riot and Vic, and before following Vic, they just kind of look back towards the horseman and then back at Riot. Say, yeah, I know a thing or two about parental issues, powerful parents and disapproval and all that. Do you need an out? Do you need to leave? You can come with us.
It would be fun, but I don't know. I kind of want to go and get all the fame from having done this since you all are leaving.
Right.
The keg party's gonna be righteous.
It's gonna be pretty rad. So,
Right.
well, sorry, you seem like you were gonna say something, but your shoulders are near your ears, so I feel like you should just like breathe a little bit.
And Misfit, I think, like, takes in a deep breath and lets it go, but their body does not relax.
It's just
at
like
all.
Just like they're gonna come back. They didn't die. I don't know. Vic said that.
That's not exactly what I'm worried about, but I appreciate it. Thanks. For what it's worth, I hope that you have a rockin' party and that you're able to sneak out to go to it, because I have a feeling your parents are not gonna.
Yeah, grounding here is eternal. So
Good luck with that.
yeah.
I think.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
No, finish.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna just wait. I'm just standing there with my bike. Like,
Yeah, and I think Misfit is just
minute
kind of
they're
at that point turns around and follows Vic to this elevator that we are hoping will take us out of here. Do you even know where this goes?
No, not at all.
It does say in bright shining light.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it did have a Hotel
Yeah.
Eternity.
Hotel Eternity on it.
Oh, well,
It looks at you and says, "I think you know exactly where it goes."
convenient. And I think Misfit just kind of gives Vic a look at that. You can't tell Eden.
Yeah, no, you're gonna tell him yourself. And I think Vic like gets into the elevator, like assuming that like Eden and Heaven are either getting up or having a moment.
Eden is just like now openly crying, I think. Like their eyes are just like red and like full of tears, I think. And they're literally like a disgusting wet cat crawling out of the like pulling themselves up out of the river, trying to untangle themselves from Heaven. I think like and like I imagine they're kind of like embraced in some way, and they're almost like trying to push against her, but like hardly working, right? And still kind of like crying, and eventually like I think just like starts pounding on Heaven's chest a little bit, like why do you insist on doing this? Why do you insist on saving me? What if I am not worth being saved, Heaven?
You literally gave up your heart to save me. You think I'm ever going to give up on you?
And look at what it did to me. Look at what I am now. Poison. You said it yourself.
I was angry. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for calling you poison. I'm sorry for saying everyone gets cast out because I'm still here. And that's proof that it was a fucking lie.
And the same thing happens where Eden's mouth opens and this snake tongue comes out, and there's like frustration for a moment, and they like put both of their hands on your shoulders and like a kind of like wait right here, and they pivot and they start stalking, but like in a wet cat way, like flop 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 flop, like wet toward Riot with this like extremely determined expression on their face. That same kind of like now it's you who has something that they want, right? And they are coming right at you. And they reach you, soaking wet, eyes red from tears. They look up at you. You owe me. And I need a favor.
I mean, I think I gave you exactly what you wanted, but sure.
We don't have to get into the details of the destruction I could have just wrought. I need you to rip out my tongue.
It'd be nice to hear a please first, but why not? And just, there's this spirit of riot, of rage, of fervor, of anger. This is exactly, like, Riot is the perfect mixture of yearning and ferocity in one go, and there is nothing about this. Your determined look, there is, like, you asking, Riot immediately, like, reaches forward with a large hand, and oh god, what? How do I do this? I think reaches forward. Oh my god. I feel like Riot just says, oh no, there's no way to do this. That's not.
Do it. Do it.
Oh my god, there's a dog. He was like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Don't do that.
No, don't do it. I'm gonna step into Eden's space, and what I will do is reach forward. Oh god. Oh no. I want to say open up.
Do it.
Be worse. Lean
like
into
a
it.
Band-Aid.
You say open up?
Yeah.
This is vile, and I'm so fucking sorry. Eden opens their mouth and says, please.
That's what I was looking for. Reaches in, grabs your tongue, and rips it from your mouth. There is blood, there is violence, and this is just like Riot's eyes, and I'm sure everyone around can hear like applause. This is what is fueling like the motorbikes, like the fan energy, like people. This is not. Oh, it is truly, for a lack of words, a surge of power and violence in this moment.
Eden screams, and it's this awful, like, choked sound, kind of. And like just all of this blood starts dripping down their mouth, and then like sand starts coming out as a new tongue starts forming in their mouth, and it is not forked, and it is first prismatic sand, and then it like fully forms, and still like with blood pouring out of their mouth. Thank you. Thank you.
That was the best favor I've ever given, I guess.
Well, maybe we'll come back and you can have another.
I hope. And I will... Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think I give Eden my guitar pick. I don't know. I just give you the guitar pick. Sling my bass guitar. It's sadly has been in front of me this whole time. It's covered in blood and sand. I sling it to my back and walk over to my amp. Ready to face my parents and whatever comes after this moment.
And Eden pivots the same way and turns to face their parents and whatever comes that way, but not first without coming back to heaven. Taking their shoulders.
Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I was going to say they're more like a wet bird with these giant fucking wings and trying to get them dry. So just like a lot of shaking and flapping. And it's just a wet cat, wet chicken. That's what we have going on.
And their mouth literally full of blood, like dripping down. Eden looks. I love you too, Heaven. Let's go try to make the world a little bit better. And both learn things that we should have learned a long time ago.
Okay.
Please. Okay.
All get into the elevator and begin to close it, as it is one of the older ones where you have to close it, lock it, and it goes. Slowly begins to seep under as you see the world beyond begins to fade. As the light in the room turns off and you see behind you a little camera reveal starts to show up as you start to see footage as we do our last scene. It is almost like a grainy black and white 60s style-esque movie to it. And you see what looks like to be a chair. Fancy in nature, and you see strolling up in a suit before they take a seat is your father, Eden. You see his hair slicked back, a little bit younger, though he did die young, but a little bit younger than that. As you see, he is confident in himself as he looks at the camera and goes, "Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is James West, and I am the manager of Hotel Eternity. You probably have many questions going through your mind right now, like, where am I? How am I alive? Where did all the color go?" as you start to see the color fade back into the black and white, similar to that was in Eden's mind all that time ago. Well, to make it fast and simple, you are dead. Whatever happened to you in the mortal world finished you off for good, with no hopes of ever reviving you again, but don't worry, the hotel has you covered. Now, let me pose a question to you, as you see he kind of gets up. Have you ever wondered, where do you go when you die? Or, will the universe know where to send you once you die? These are all questions many of us had. See, back in the day, he has a little diorama, you were either a celestial being who belonged to the upper echelons of what is considered the good domains, or you were going below, as he pulls out almost like a demonic figure. Going to the lower planes below, and all that entails, not just hell, but anywhere in between. Thing is, throws them onto the side, as time went on, more and more people and monsters were being brought into this world as the chart begins to go up. And the increasingly graying of what is considered good and evil leaves these planes in disarray, as they tend to try to process the ever-growing list of applicants that come to their doors. This is where I come in. As an independent party to the laws of order and chaos, I am here to help ease your path into that next great journey in your life at Hotel Eternity. Come stay in one of our lavish 6,600 bedroom guest rooms that we have tailored just to your specific needs. Enjoy fine dining that would put your last meal to shame. Dance the night away on our multi-floor ballroom, or take a beautiful walk on the astral shores. That is not all we have, as we also have some afterlife consultation available to you 24/7 to answer those burning questions, or if you just need someone to talk to in these troubling times. You see, he begins to go out in the front of the hotel. We are excited to welcome you to our hotel, and we hope you enjoy your stay at Hotel Eternity. Don't worry, it's only for eternity. And that is we shall end our episode for today. Yay!
Whoa.
Well, thank you everyone for watching this lovely episode of the Mythic Initiative. With that, we're going to go in reverse order of plugs here, starting off with CJ. So please take us out.
Oh my God. Hi everyone, it's me, CJ. They, them pronouns. I played Vic, who maybe wasn't the most normal today, but maybe we still were. We're gonna hear back. If you like what I do, then you'll love what I do everywhere else. Find me on the internet at Scholastic Dragon on like Twitter, Blue Sky. It's not Instagram at all. The other places like TikTok, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. I usually just play this. I'm going to be at Big Bad Con next week, and this weekend I'm going to be at the New Jersey Web Fest. So if you happen to be there, I don't know, say hello to me. If you're not going to be there, send a prayer to your gods and hope that we win. I want an award. But that's me. I'm going to pass it to Hamna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me all over the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. And today I was Misfit, who uses he, they pronouns, and Misfit is doing okay, doing so fine, doing so normal, and is not going to have anything weird happen next time. Yeah. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Vin, to Heaven.
Hi, didn't see you there. That was ridiculous. I don't know why I put myself through this stress every day. So I was Heaven, the Fallen. Again, I'm Vin. I've been VoxVay on Twitter, tabletop performer and voice actor. If you want to see me be serious, like the actual cool side, go to vinvox.com. My resume, my demos, my studio specs. Hire me, pay me, love me, because I don't know what these motherfuckers are doing to me. And I'm gonna slide it to Lexi.
Losing my mind. Going stupid. Yeah, my name's Lexi, otherwise known as Black Girl Mage. I was Riot today. The Hunger, not the Hunger, the Surge. Nope, I'm reading other people's playbooks. It was the Surge. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok now, I guess. I'm at Black Girl Mage on all of those things, except for TikTok, where I'm Lex the Mage, because someone has Black Girl Mage, and I have yet to hunt them down, find them, and rid them of their use of life, I guess. So I can't have Black Girl Mage there soon, though. Yeah, right now I'm kind of just doing this. I have some videos coming out this coming week, but outside of that, pretty much just chilling. So giving hot takes when I can. But I guess that means passing it to to the one and only C.
Oh, stop. You're so kind to me. Hi, everyone. My name is C. I use they, them. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Hi, I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay on the internet at CPlaysRPG. If you liked what I did here tonight, get help, because that was really wretched. I played Worst Bitch Simulator 4000, and I won every single level. So... I feel icky. I feel but you know what? Eden didn't literally kill an entire plane of existence, so I'm really proud of them. Character growth? Shrug. Character growth. Woo-ha! God.
I'm
Trauma
sorry,
man.
woo-ha?
Woo-ha, bitch! Woo-ha! Woo-ha! Did I stutter? I said woo-ha! Chris? Trauma man, do you have fucking anything to say for yourself?
So many things. Not for you all. But with that, I am Chris. I was your lovely keeper for these preceding evenings. You can catch me on the Twitter at VO_Cologne, at COLON, while it is still alive. We just for this episode here, we're not gonna have one next week because I'm also going to BadCon. Most of us are, so we're gonna skip over a week. So sadly, you won't catch this until the week after next week. So that's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, around October. Yeah,
October 5th.
October 5th. There you go, October 5th. Which is very exciting. But until then, we hope you all have a lovely night, and we can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.